This is real radio.
This is real radio.
You're waiting for the song to stop.
Oh, yeah.
So we can throw in an ad read real quick.
If this was Bob McCowan, he just lets the song breathe for like 2 minutes before he comes in. It'll come in when I'm damn well ready.
He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Welcome back to Primetime Sports.
He's
retired, actually.
He just gave up.
But it's a good song. We licensed the Shoot Brothers band. We paid for that track. There's no CFO $sign stuff. We own that music.
Yeah, just like the WWE owns all that music.
Everything on this show, the trivia theme, the rest of the week, we licensed the band. They wrote it, but we own everything.
Shoot Brothers band. Our sound designers going through
our in-house. I mean,
check the budget. Look, there's a budget.
I don't know. We have cameras, 3 angles. There's been pay-per-views that have had less cameras than this.
There have been professional wrestling events. I guess we gotta tell the listener what they're listening to, or the viewers what they're viewing. The Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast, of course, is the only wrestling podcast. It's hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne. It's hosted by Mike the Shoot Shepherd. He's sitting right over there.
What do we got today? I'm not belt guy that wears the belts to the shows, but we have the prop. We had to bring it because it's a special episode, a championship caliber episode, a centennial classic, if you will. It's episode 100.
100. Oh, my God.
And you know what? I'll celebrate the occasion. I got a little something for you, Cameron.
You got a little something for me?
100. Let me grab it real quick.
Oh, my Lord. Listeners, viewers, I had no idea about any of this.
Okay.
Oh, what's happening here? Mike's putting the cans back on. If you're
I got my belt here, so I had to bring a belt for Cameron. If you can show that to the folks at home.
What's this?
You got your own replica belt.
No way.
Let's side by side for the folks at home.
Listeners at home. Listeners at home.
Spins. That is yours to keep, my friend. An early birthday present. I know you've got a birthday coming up.
Late birthday present.
Or sorry, late.
Wow.
I'm even worse now.
Listeners at home, Mike has presented me this beautiful spinner championship.
John Cena Classic. Happy birthday. My bad. I honestly thought it was a couple days from now. So
thank you so much. It was a couple days ago. Belated.
It's COVID times, folks. I forgot the exact date.
I don't have Facebook. This is like the perfect size thing. It could fit around.
You can wear it around your wrist. You can put it on a ferret if you have a pet ferret.
Put it around
But yeah, that's yours to keep, my friend. A gift. For the show and for your birthday and for all that we do.
Mike, I can't, I appreciate this so much. This is the coolest thing I've ever gotten. Yeah. I'm going to wear it with pride.
2 eras of belts there, folks.
Wow, look at this. And cheers. I think, I think cheers are in order. Just
cheers. I'll hide the label.
Many champions before holding up their belts and celebrating a drink.
Ching.
Cheers.
100 more.
100 onwards and upwards.
Yes.
Well, listeners at home, and viewers there at home too, we thought to ourselves, we just put out our Wayne Gretzky episode.
99. Less than 24 hours ago we were recording.
Less than 24 hours ago we were recording, and we thought,
we worked hard.
What better way to celebrate episode 100 than do something different?
Something we've never done on this show.
Something a little bit different, of course. And this isn't even the Shooties. The Shooties are on their way, mind you.
That's a once-a-year thing. That's a modern thing. Today, we're covering the whole entire history scope of wrestling.
And we thought it would be a lot of fun if we broke down a bunch of categories of various wrestling topics, and we're going to present to you listeners and viewers our top 5. All sorts of stuff. We're going to be covering varying topics of wrestling history, present, future even. And this was a great idea. You've had this idea for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I think we sort of worked together, and this would be the perfect occasion to do it.
To just do it, yeah. We already have such a packed show every week, all these other segments, and this is a special in between. We're not really reviewing any weekly wrestling. We're just
absolutely no. I refuse to talk about SmackDown last night or Full Gear tonight.
It hasn't even happened.
I refuse to talk about it here on the
show. You
have
that right. That is your right in this country.
It's Joe Biden's world now.
Well, that's a different country, but our sisters of the South have finally settled
You had this idea, which is going to be a lot of fun.
I came up with the idea of lists, folks.
Just various, lists. Yeah, you wrote the Reddit on lists, and let's just kick right off. How about we just like kick right into something?
A top 5 list. All right. You pick a topic.
I pick a topic here. Let's start off with top tag teams.
Ooh. Okay.
Big topic, of course. So our 5 tag teams, we got our own little order. Mike, before we even start these, what I'm most excited for is the difference between our answers.
Yeah,
Mike, you are the encyclopedia of professional wrestling, Mike. I'm but a Padawan in this game.
But you have a very wide and eclectic palette.
Very much. I'm kind of Anakin between 2 and 3 right now. You know, I could really go either way. I could tip that way. I could tip on the dark side. I could the younglings. Don't forget about the younglings. So I picked the topic. So I'm gonna kick this one off. I guess coming in at number 5.
Number 5.
Oh, we need something like that, like some kind of.
We can probably do a number 3.
We'll do that. we can do that in post. Coming to number 5, I got to give my tag team. They're still around these days. Haven't seen them performing in a while, but individually they're currently crushing it. The Usos.
The Usos.
The Usos were not champions when I came in, but they had this insane run. I think it was like 2017 of matches with. They were back and forth between like them and the New Day, and them and Cesaro and Sheamus. The Bar. That
great Hell in a Cell tag match.
And they were all over the place for so long on television. Just a great forwarding the tag division.
Yeah, the Usos, man, a mainstay. Same with me for number 5. Not the same tag team, but the same situation. A team that's no longer together, but they are both still wrestling singles. Ciampa and Gargano, known as DIY.
DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Is that what it stood for? Probably.
Probably. Had some absolute classics in NXT, elevating that. Probably one of the best times of that tag division ever, between them and the Revival and Gable and Jordan. But DIY, Ciampa, Gargano, as a unit, they were excellent. And yeah.
Well, they had a match. Were you at that TakeOver Toronto when they?
No, regrettably. I think that might have been a 5-star match.
I think it was the ladders.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Tables match or something.
It was a tag team, title something. But Ciampa and Gargano coming in at number 5.
Congratulations. I wonder whose name we're going to see the most kind of just around.
We'll have a couple repeats.
I wonder if you and I are ever gonna kind of lock into to kind of people on the similar level. Let's move over to number 4. Number 4. The guys are hot. Hot always in singles action, and when they come together, it's just sort of like 2 singles dudes doing crazier shit because there's somebody else to do crazy shit with.
Yeah.
We see it every week on AEW Dynamite. We're talking the Lucha Bros.
Lucha Brothers, or Bros, I guess.
Lucha Bros, Lucha Brothers, and even in individually fantastic. When they're teamed up, they're fantastic.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. They put on some excellent. They
do some crazy shit. They do crazy shit.
Crazy shit. All right, I'll throw my number 4 at you. And we've got our first repeat of the night because I had them 1 spot higher. I got the Usos, we already talked about.
No way.
But, that just goes to show you the mark they've had on the business. They are legitimately one of the best tag teams of all time.
And did you how good were they when they were babyface Usos? When they were like face paint?
Yeah,
Usos?
they were just as good. So even before the face paint, they were like really generic. And then they added the face paint. But they've always been good wrestlers. But they've evolved slightly enough to never be stale, Then they became ish and they started rapping and
Day
shit.
1-ish.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Usos, man. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Let's keep it going with my number 3. A team who is I think I just mentioned them, but I'm bringing number 3, the Bar.
The Bar.
A lot of the tag team wrestling that I've watched over the years involved very few teams because of normal WWE things.
Yeah.
And there was that like year and a half time.
The 3 or 4 teams, though, they held it down.
Very much so. Very much so. Always entertaining.
Yeah,
and,
Cesaro, Sheamus, excellent.
The Bar, and they did that little thing.
It took me like a couple weeks to realize what they meant when they said the Bar.
Like, we don't set the bar, we are the bar.
Because they didn't say, they were just like, we're the bar. I'm like, what's that mean?
Yeah, the bar.
The lawyer exam?
Like, are they the bar to be raised? Like, their bar, like, they are what's sunk.
Yeah.
They need somebody to rise them.
But my number 3 team, we're going a bit old school on this one. One of the legendary teams of the Attitude Era. Both became singles world heavyweight champions. We're talking about Edge and Christian. They never had a tag team name. They were just Edge and Christian, but solidified in some of the most spectacular moments. The dive off the ladder, that WrestleMania, to Jeff Hardy.
The big spear off the ladder.
Yeah, the
and
TLC, every TLC they were in. And
I think 2 Canadian boys were, I knew they were going to pop up on this list
somewhere,
of yours.
yeah. So there you go. Number 3, good. They're like fucking, I don't know, 11. I think they still had the most tag title. Maybe New Day's going to beat them. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Edge and Christian, here you go.
Edge and Christian. Yeah, that spear off the thing, and then he banged Lita on television. Those are my 2 big Edge moments, I think.
Yeah,
and of course, the greatest wrestling match ever. How could we forget?
Yeah, that was only 4 months ago.
Yeah, April, August, June,
something. No.
July, January.
All right, what's next?
Okay, coming in at number 2 for me. This team's been all over the world together. Right? Globetrotters. Not from Harlem, though.
Nope.
One of them's from America, but one of them's from Burnaby, British Columbia. So a little Canadian trotter. There's no sense tarrying any further, building up this anticipation, because I could say 3 words, and those words would be shock the system. The Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's a bit of a Freebirdish thing going on here, right?
Well, I mean,
if you would like any particular clarification,
sure.
we're looking at the Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish lineup. They were known as Red Dragon in previous worldwide things. Came together, continue to wrestle together.
You gotta have no matter what, you gotta have Kyle in there to play the guitar on the way down.
The guitar on the way down. Anytime he calls Pete Dunne Peter Dune.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Just even on the mic, in the ring, out of the ring. Fantastic.
I can't argue with that.
And this song legitimately stays in my head for.
Oh yeah.
I sing it getting in the shower.
Yeah, they can't lose that one. All right, coming in at my number 2. Kind of funnily enough, we got another Freebirdish rule because I got the New Day coming in at number 2. The collective 3 members. I don't know. You can make me pick 2 if you really want.
No, you don't. No, nor do you have to.
I don't have to. So New Day, one of the best tag teams of all time. They've set the record for number of days and all that.
Consecutive reigns, total, this, that, the other.
Managed to stay fresh, managed to stay over for all those years. Even with the slight split they're still going.
And never turn on each other.
No, they split up. They split up Big E, but he's still best friends with them, so they can do it. They do what they're doing.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Well, let's just round off this list. Number 1 here. I refuse to talk about them in their match this evening. I refuse.
Oh, that's a spoiler already.
Spoiler already. If you know anything about anything, I go with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, they had that feeling of the best kept secret. That kind of like, the cool people know about the Young Bucks. The cool people are watching the shitty YouTube videos. The cool people are in on the inside jokes. In the ring, out the ring.
Well, the secret's out now. Certainly. On
Secret's
AEW.
out now.
Yeah, I mean, they are world-renowned. One of the best tag teams.
Champions in like every company for thousands of days, always.
Yeah.
They just have these 2-year-long reigns at a time.
And if you let them go singles, they can certainly hold their own, but they just seem to be one of those teams like the New Day where they just want to go forever as a team.
The good American story, 2 brothers working hard to support their families.
Yeah. Matt and Nick, cheers to you. All right. On my side, number 1 tag team of all time.
Wait. I was going to guess.
Okay, guess.
I was going to guess Maybe let's guess each other's number ones. Just the number ones.
Okay.
Kind of like using the information we know.
Yeah. Okay. I would have guessed Young Bucks for you.
You would have guessed Bucks for me? Yeah, but see, okay,
well,
there we go.
Especially once you gave that little hint.
Okay, well, how about before the clues?
I know. There's
just when it's time.
You can just guess this one, and then from now on, we'll do it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say your number one tag team is the Heart Dynasty.
The Heart Dynasty, like the Heart Foundation?
Heart Foundation.
Okay. It is not.
Damn.
But it is an older team. But they're both still wrestling.
We're not gonna get them all.
We're not gonna get them all.
I'm not gonna get them all.
That's okay. But this team had to be on the list because they were in some of the most spectacular matches of all time. They're still going.
Oh shit! I should have that. Fuck.
Yes.
Fuck.
One of the best teams, the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Damn it! I should have thought of that.
That's okay.
That's okay.
It slipped. But yeah, they have to be on here for me. My childhood, everyone on the playground is fucking loving Matt and Jeff.
Yeah, Team Extreme.
Team Extreme, and that's it. That's our tag teams, the best of all time. Any honorable mentions for you? I mean, there's a lot.
I think New Day was my honorable mention.
Yeah.
I think, but
I mean, I didn't mention Young Bucks. I would have put them probably pretty close to making this as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's our tag team.
That was great.
That was great. Should we just jump into another?
Sure. Why the heck not?
Why the heck not? All right.
Sipping my beverage.
Let's switch it up a bit and let's do the top 5 finishing moves.
The top 5 finishing moves. Now, this one's tough.
Very
I
tough.
sort of found because
this is all
a finishing move no longer finishes the.
It's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee. So I think there could be some possibly like
I mean, this list could just be
leeway
top 5
on
wrestling
it.
moves.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like a deep 6 is a finishing move, but never actually finishes anybody.
Yeah. Top 5 wrestling moves.
We got it.
You want.
Yeah. We got it. Mike, you kick this one off.
I'll start it off. Yes, I picked it. Number 5, a move you see very rarely in North America, but it was actually hit in the Cruiserweight Classic with Kota Ibushi and Brian Kendrick. Anyways, I'm talking about the Burning Hammer, one of the most devastating moves, especially in Japan. I think.
What's that one?
It's almost like a reverse attitude adjustment where he drops them like right on their head, off his shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's used very rarely, so if you haven't seen it, that's why, but it's very special. Burning Hammer. They don't even, people respect the move so much they don't even steal it, you know?
Wow.
So that's my number 5, Burning Hammer.
Burning Hammer. Mm-hmm. Coming in number 5 for me, I love seeing it. And people, it's because we see it so rarely, and when you do it, I always I have a low couch. We're cat's out of the bag. If something exciting happens tonight, you will if you ever have the need to want to pop out of your couch.
Sometimes
it's a little bit of a deep squat you got to get into. It's a lot
if you have bad knees, watch out.
If you have bad knees, it's an older couch. It's a very nice couch. It just sits a little lower.
Well, it's a futon, right?
No,
It
the
looks
orange one.
futon-ish,
No.
That's just a weird back.
That's just the it supports with straps. Listeners,
it's like seatbelts.
Kind of like seatbelts, yeah. It's weird that we're looking at the back of the couch. It's sort of like it's so exposed. I didn't realize how exposed.
I know.
the back
You're not supposed to see the back of a couch.
You're not supposed to see the back of the couch. Anyways, anytime I see this move, it gives me I pop. Every single time I see a Canadian Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
That look, and even similarly, I popped with kind of like a subsection at the Panama Sunrise.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 moves that are very close.
On a package pile driver, anything where you're kind of like...
Yeah, the Code Red, where it's like...
but the Destroyer, whether it's Ricky Morton hitting it,
it's
or...
just such a damn good... Because you're like, how do they do it? Guy just backflips and lands on his head.
I'll watch that all the time. Like when Kota Ibushi was giving himself destroyers off the doll.
Yeah, just
it just proves how much you know who does a good one? Chris Hero?
Probably Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno, yes.
Yeah.
He has a great destroyer.
Remember there was like a week, who was it? Andrade and someone else were doing them a bunch for a little while.
Yeah, Andrade did them a couple
they were pretty good. But yeah,
Ray maybe?
Yeah, probably Ray. That's a great move. Great damn move. I can't deny that. That's your number 4.
No, that was my number 5.
Your number 5. Yes, I'm jumping ahead. I'll give you my number 4 while we're on the subject. This is a move kind of like the Destroyer where, a lot of people can use it, but Still one of my favorite looking moves from when I was a kid. Whenever I made a wrestler in the video games, this is my go-to finisher. The Diamond Cutter. Specifically, the Diamond Cutter. There's a million cutters, but I'm going with the Diamond Cutter. Diamond Dallas Page. Boing. Such a simple move, but so devastating. Any move that I think targets the head are my favorites. Because that hurts the most, right?
Anything that's close to CTE.
Like neck and head, yeah.
Love.
Like a back bump. Come on, anyone can land on their back.
Anyone can land on their back. A little leg drop, you're like sitting on your butt.
The Diamond Cutter, RKO, Twist of Fate. There's a million versions of it, but such a great move.
Yeah.
I love it.
A cutter. And you really don't see it too often.
Just a straight Diamond Cutter nowadays. You don't see too much.
No, you really don't. You really don't. But hearing JR yell, cutter, is, it feels good. It feels good again, you know?
It's very good.
That was your number 4. I'm popping in my number 4 also right here because finishers don't always have to be these high intense head specific maneuvers. Sometimes they can be a grasp, a hold, particularly wrenching a part of the body, you know, maybe the arm or the neck. So I'm putting number 4 at the label lock.
Label lock, or the yes lock, or the no lock.
Or the yes lock, or the no lock, whatever you want to call it. Anytime Daniel Bryan rolls into it, there's just like a feeling that
he gets that arm trapped in
that you know that could be it.
Yeah.
And sort of the way he kind of rolls in, gets it, and you're suddenly like, fucking, he's going to tap, he's going to tap.
It is one of my favorite submissions, I'll say that.
Yeah.
I will say that.
It's on record.
On the record.
Of you saying that.
Okay, I'll jump up to number 3 here. This move was originally invented by Scott Steiner, called the Steiner Screwdriver. You may now know it as the Drill Claw by Brian Cage.
Oh,
that crazy move where, boom, another head targeted.
Another head first move.
But the Steiner one, you got to watch a clip of this after. It's even more vicious. He does it in Japan. He's just like, rah, boom.
Those people are finding out new, innovative ways to smash each other on their faces.
So the Steiner Screwdriver / the Drill Claw. Love that move. Looks devastating. You have to be very big to do it because you got to have those muscles to not kill the man, not drop him on his head.
It's way harder to not kill somebody in professional wrestling than it is to actually kill somebody in professional wrestling.
Well, anyways, that's my number 3.
That's your number 3. Coming in number 3 for me, though, fantastic. I feel like I don't see it too much these days. Not to say that it couldn't be done by the man, well, I spoiled that, who performed so. Coming in at number 3 for me is the Styles Clash.
The Styles Clash.
Such a cool move that is so unique to AJ Styles also, that doing it is still a Styles Clash.
Yeah, even when Michelle McCool did it, it was a Styles Clash.
Long after AJ Styles retires, that will always be the Styles Clash, and except for that one time, Roddy Strong took it the wrong way.
Yeah, it's the only wrestling move where you're not supposed to tuck your chin.
Yeah.
You do the opposite. You
do the opposite,
Ellsworth
folks.
Almost fucked up, and AJ saved him.
Folks at home, if you're ever about to take a Styles Clash,
lean back.
Yeah. We cannot emphasize that enough. And it's such a cool move. It's so unique to one person. And,
it's his move. It's his move. The others may use it, but it's his move. Much like my next choice on this list. Coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
This is one of the most legendary moves of all time. A devastating maneuver. A couple other people have used it, like the Styles Clash, but we all associate it with one person. So I'm talking about the Tombstone Pile Driver. Break those heads.
More head.
That just happened. I wasn't
more head
specifically.
Cracking, baby.
I guess that's scary, right? That's realistic. That's a good move.
Yeah. You know, as a kid, you wondered how much it hurt, or you really killed them.
I know how
but
much
as
it
an
hurt.
adult,
Me and my brother did it.
As an adult, you appreciate the amount of work that goes into keeping
they come this close
safe.
when you do it right. Your head's this close to hitting the mat.
Yeah.
When you're.
Yeah.
And a lot of strength. It's just such a good move. Even Okada does his in Japan. He does like his spinning tombstone.
It's like a spinning tombstone.
The Young Bucks do their teamwork.
And he lands on,
So the tombstone, but the Undertaker still does it best when he hits that. Hopefully never again, but when he does, it's a special move.
It is really a special one of those that everybody knows.
Like even when someone else teases it, you're like, oh, they almost did a tombstone.
Yeah, but we know Taker, and also one of those moves, Taker does a tombstone.
98% of the time.
98% of the time.
It's one of those moves that's very protected, as it should be.
Coming in at number 2 for me, it's still going. This move is still being performed. Actually, it's only being performed, and possibly similar to Styles Clash. It'll be something that may be recognized by one person. Mm-hmm. And I love it every single fucking time. It's the Black Mass.
The Black Mass, yeah.
The Black Mass takes the ferocity and thigh slap of a super kick and adds the unpredictability of spinning 360 degrees. This move for me is wild, and sometimes some of those motherfuckers just eat it.
I feel like tactically you can pull it off from a closer range. Like if I'm 2 feet apart, bam, I just spin around. Whereas a super kick, you got to kind of lean into it. You got to work you. So the Black Mass can come out of nowhere, eat you up. Yeah, it's a great move. Too bad Aleister Black's having the call up. He's
booking issues.
Yeah.
He's having booking problems, guys.
Yeah. But that was your number 2.
Which means it's your number 1.
Let me give you my number 1.
Am I guessing?
You can guess.
Am I guessing what I think it is?
Go ahead.
See, I think, I think there's going to be a lot of similarities between potential, favorite wrestlers and possibly favorite finishing moves. Maybe you too closely associate the two. When I was creating a lot of these lists, I was the same. Similar people were coming up in in kind of various positions because it's like, oh yeah, that's this experience. I think.
I will give you a spoiler though. There's no Scott Steiner coming up later.
Okay.
That Steiner Screwdriver is his only.
That was his only one.
For Scott.
I gotta go with the Stunner.
The Stone Cold Stunner, you say?
I say.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, no. Well, just what I would think yours.
No, I know.
May
I'm
be.
saying you're wrong. That's all.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad guess or anything.
Okay.
But no. Instead, I'm going to have to go with one of my favorite moves. This one's not targeting the head. Just one of the most skills. Maybe only 1 or 2 people in the world can pull this move off. One of the most protected moves. One of the most controversial moments we bring up on the show is when the ref botched the count on the Black Arrow / Red Arrow. One of the most spectacular moves in the world that should still have been never kicked out of. But I love that goddamn move. How many people could even do that besides Neville? Pac.
The bastard Pac.
Yeah, like you're doing a backflip while moving forward and rotating 360 degrees, and every single time he lands perfect. He's never even missed it.
I've never seen a botched.
Like we've seen people overshoot moonsaults and shit, but he's every time just boom, like a video game.
Yeah, he's a cheat mode. Pac is a cheat mode on what he can do, and it's a.
And the move still feels special because he doesn't even use it every match. Sometimes he does a submission.
Is he going to show up tonight?
He might.
I think he's going to show up
promo.
Tonight.
There's hot rumors that there's going to be something shocking tonight.
I think he's going to show up tonight.
I've even heard Sting might show up. Sting. The crow. But that's my greatest move of all time.
Wow. Yeah, truly is. And that
controversial, I'll never forgive.
You'll never forget that until the day you die.
Yes.
Even on the day you die, you never forget. Well, Mike, it's my number 1 time. Who do you think it is?
Your number 1.
Or what do you think it is, rather?
Yes. You know what? I'm going to go. We did mention some crossover from lists. So I'm going to think that your finishing move is by your favorite tag team. I'm going to go with the Meltzer Driver by the Young Bucks.
It is not. It is not. Good guess, though. We've seen a Meltzer Driver on everything at this point.
You know why I guessed that?
Why's that?
Because I think that was your finisher of the year on the shooting.
It may have been.
I was trying to play off of that.
You were trying to play. No. Good guess, though. Good guess, though.
Okay.
Similarly to your finisher, one of the most protected things on the planet right now. I actually don't think it's ever. I've never really looked into it. I actually don't think it's ever been kicked out of. Certainly, I've never seen it kicked out of.
Oh, I think I might know what it is.
It's a one-winged angel.
The one-winged angel.
Yeah. It's if it was kicked out, it would have been one of those ones where Kenny doesn't cover him.
I believe that Kota Ibushi kicked out of it once.
Cool.
When the Golden Lovers broke up and they had their feud.
Right.
I believe, but correct me if I'm wrong, folks. But either way, it is one of the most.
It's one of those, and similar to what we were saying about. Sometimes a finishing move isn't a finishing move. And yeah, there could be that 1, maybe 2 times it did happen. But in all of those Okada matches from years and years past, what feels like a lifetime ago, when he hit it, you knew.
Yeah.
You knew what was going to happen.
And he still, he doesn't always have to hit it. Sometimes he can win with a V-trigger still.
V-trigger! signature. Well, he hasn't used it for 200 days since this tournament. Well, I refuse to talk about full.
Oh, okay.
But there you have it.
Great
Top
list.
5 finishers.
Yeah, great.
That
That was great. Hey.
was a lot of fun. Let's move on. I picked the next one, don't I?
Yeah, pick the next one.
I picked the next one. Yes, I do. I picked the next one. How about you?
Hey! Sorry.
Let's go gimmick matches. Gimmick matches, because I love me a good step.
Stips are so much fun.
I love me a good step.
I think every pay-per-view card should have at least one or
one
two stip.
step. Give me a
at
step.
least one step.
Even if it's honestly, submission match is a step. Just give me
Exactly.
a step.
Yeah, exactly. No DQ. Anything. We love it. We love our regular matches too. Don't overdo the stips. But stips are so much fun. Gimmicks, shenanigans, all that. So why don't you lead us off?
I'm gonna kick you off here. Coming in at number 5, I was sort of looking and thinking of all the possible steps I could, and like, why do I like this? Why do I like this? Why do I like this? And my coming in at number 5 for me is the last man standing match. Now, here's why I love a last man standing match so much. It's the moments where one superstar will have beaten down the other one, and they're fucking flat on the ground. And instead of continuing to beat them, they'll stand up, like take 5 feet back, kind of catch their breath, and then the ref will go on their knees and say something like, come on, Kevin Owens, come on, Kevin. Come on, you just got to stand up. And it's how the production, I don't know, there's something about the ridiculousness of a last man standing match.
Yeah, no, I
sometimes don't get it. And that's why
you love it though.
That's why I'm ranking it so high, because I love these moments where
it can encompass so much. They can travel the arena, they can go through tables,
they
weapons, everywhere.
can go all over the place, which actually also adds to the fun.
The arena. What was it, a couple years ago? They were in a baseball stadium. They were like on the dugout and shit.
Shane. I think there was that. I think Shane and Miz at Mania was last man standing. I think.
Okay. Either way,
fight for his dad's custody.
Yeah. Miz's dad. And the whole 10 count. Add that element of kind of like a boxing.
More.
It's like a real fight. You can't answer the bell 10 count. Sometimes depends on the match, but they can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The greatest wrestling match ever, of course.
Well, that wasn't the last man.
That wasn't the last man.
The one before.
Oh, the first
the Mania one.
The Mania.
Was yeah.
Oh shit.
But all right, I'll give you my number 5 here. Match that we don't see too often. They save it. They keep it special. It was gone away for a long time, and then they brought it back. And every year when we see it, it's one of the best matches. I'll talk about War Games.
War Games.
NXT's brought it back, of course. It was around in WCW days, maybe NWA. I can't remember.
I think maybe possibly both.
Probably. Yeah, they're like the same thing. But War Games, man, you get those 2 cages, those 2 rings. You never see 2 rings side by side.
Never.
NXT, every single one's delivered.
The Undisputed Era has delivered in every single.
If you want to tie them or a gimmick, if you want to tie the 2 together, they're the representative of War Games.
Yeah, that's in their Hall of Fame credentials, like 7 straight War Games.
Exactly.
The physical toll a match like that takes on your body.
Yeah, Undertaker was Mr. WrestleMania. They're Mr. War Games.
War Games family.
That's my number 5.
I got a number 4 here. I got a number 4. This is a match so rare. So rare. And just last week, gosh darn, wouldn't you know it, it pops back in.
Oh, boy.
Anything on a pole.
Anything on a pole.
Anything on a pole match.
I think I did say on the show this was one of your favorites.
The idea of putting something on a pole and then you gotta grab it. Something about that is just so funny.
It is funny.
Bailey and Alexa Bliss trying to grab that kendo stick on a pole.
That was bad though. But they've had so many. Yeah.
The idea of this stip.
Yeah.
Makes me laugh every time I see it, and entertained, which is the most important part, I guess.
Hey, that's fine.
Hey.
All right. My number 4, when you were first introducing yours, I thought this is where you were going with it, because this match also occurred within the last week. We've seen some of the craziest things of all time in this match. Some of the greatest matches. Some not as great, but for the most part, people still get excited whenever you see a Hell in a Cell match. Number 4, that cage comes down. you're going to see some good shit most of the time.
It's menacing. It's evolved over time.
Yeah, we've had people fall off the roof, through the roof, off the side, in between. People come from under the ring, weapons, everything happened. Blood. Hardy climbed to the roof and like fell off last year.
Yeah, remember the screwdriver through the ear hole?
Screwdriver through the ear.
I never thought I'd say that ever.
Yeah, so many great moments inside that cell. Even if it's a bit overdone sometimes, it's still a damn good match.
Even though we get it only once a year, maybe that makes it a little
still once a
more
year.
important.
So they're like, oh, it's already in the building. Let's have 3. Let's just have 3. But that's it. That's number 4.
That's number 4. Here's my number 3 there for you. This stip was similar to Hell in a Cell. The stipulation was so good. They're like, God damn it, we got to make a whole pay-per-view about it. Because I love me a good old-fashioned battle royal.
A battle royal.
Anybody can. It's the one time. I mean, what Lana won like 3 weeks ago. It's the one time where, and the Rumble comes where anybody can win it, and the stakes are often high. Something like a championship opportunity, or contendership, whatever it might be.
And it's just so fun getting all those guys in one group, and you make little teams or gals.
And a battle royal, great way to book. It's fun, gets everyone involved. Love it.
I do too. All right, that was your number 3.
Yes.
So my number 3, sticking with the cage theme. My first 2 have had cages involved.
Yeah, a lot of
next
cages going on.
I'm not talking about a regular cage match though. That's not good enough. I'm talking about a match that combines kind of everything. Combines the rules of War Games, Hell in a Cell, all in one. It's Elimination Chamber. So you got the cage, you got the chambers, I love an elimination match. I don't, like, if you've got like 5-6 people fighting for the title, I want it to narrow down one by one.
Yes.
I don't just want one fall. So I love that element. And you get a bit of the Royal Rumble, the roulette, the surprise. You don't know who's coming. And then we get the crazy, like the Lucha Brothers, the Lucha House Party climbing the roof, people jumping off the thing, crashing through the pods. It's always a fun match, just like the Hell in a Cell. So I love the Elimination Chamber.
Anytime they really like focus in on the structure, and I can just hear Corey Graves in my fucking head telling me, using words like menacing, ferocity.
It changes careers.
Something like that. Yeah, how the chamber changes people.
Yeah.
I can just hear it in my head, and you're right. That is such a fun.
And they did redesign it a few years ago, made it much more
like kind
ergonomical.
Of concise.
You can, like, the pods are flat on top. You can climb them, and a lot better. But all right.
Number 2 for me here was a match type in which you had just mentioned. Oh. And one thing when it comes to the match itself, not only the performers within it, but unfortunately kind of going forward, the person in which described the sheer violence and chaos that was occurring ahead of us, hearing some of Mauro Ranello's calls on a War Games match. Every single one is fun. Yep. I've been 2 times. I've been places where I was like, hey guys, would you mind if I put this on? I think you will enjoy it.
That's a match to win people
and
over.
That's great. And they're like, how does it work? And they even give the fucking little instructions.
They give it as you go, like little box. Like, okay, why is that guy in the cage?
And they will come down in like 5-minute chunks, and then eventually it's still like whoever pins whoever. And the carnage in it is so fun. It'll be so weird to not be hearing Mauro Ranello's voice, be saying things, like mama,
mama mia, mama mia. But excellent. We both. So number 2 now for me. This is another one. This is kind of like an all-in-one. I'm just going to include them all together because it's the same idea. You hang something from the roof, a belt or a briefcase, anything you want, but you have to climb a ladder to get to it. So I'm talking about the ladder match, the TLC match, the Money in the Bank match, the ladder match. Anything involving a ladder and climbing and grabbing that belt. It's so fun, so exciting, just something different. And you get all the crazy shit, people flying around, breaking ladders, tables, the drama of the fingertips on the belt, people climbing, fucking invading, all that bullshit. Nothing like a good ladder match.
Nothing like a good ladder match.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got to say. You've all seen a ladder match.
We all know what it is. Do we have one tonight? No.
Nah. I mean, they're pretty sparing in AEW, actually.
Yeah.
I've only seen a couple. Yeah.
Well, what's my number 1, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I didn't let you guess mine, did I?
That was your 2. Was it not?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Your number 1. What have you not said yet? You know what? You didn't say ladder, so I'll go ladder.
Woo, woo, woo,
Ambulance?
Well, I pressed that little.
Is it an ambulance match?
No, those were sirens going off.
The winner
Those
siren?
were sirens going off for the correct reasons. Yes, Mike, the ladder match for all the reasons you just mentioned. The brutality of the fingertips, AJ Styles hanging from the thing just dropping onto the floor. So much fun, and oftentimes, the multi-man ladder matches is usually the way they kind of do it. 3 plus people, and fantastic. That's my number one.
Yeah, love those ladder matches. All right, my number one.
Your number one.
This is specific.
I got to guess.
Yes, sorry.
Oh, it's specific.
Sorry, no,
I got
there you go. That's a hint.
Specific.
That's a big clue.
Fuck.
That's a big clue.
Because, I was also thinking this too. Like,
'Cause a lot of the big ones are gone.
A lot of the big ones are gone, so it would be some kind of like. I was also thinking.
But
like
a lot of the big ones could be left.
Exactly, I was thinking something like a Royal Rumble match type. Something to that effect. I know you love the Rumble, and that's really like the biggest one. I know you love your good Rumble.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm gonna say a Battle Royal, but specifically, if I can, the Royal Rumble.
I did give a hint saying specific, and I do specifically love the Royal Rumble is my number one match of all time. That January comes around, I get so excited. The lead up to WrestleMania, even if WrestleMania looks like it's gonna be shit, for one night we all get together. We all love the Royal Rumble. The excitement, 30 men or women. You don't know who it's all gonna be. We get legends returning. We get surprises. We get upsets. When it gets down to the final four, like, oh, who's gonna win? And it's just so much fun. Last year's Rumble, Brock Lesnar, that whole build-up, that was one of the best of all time.
That was one of the best Rumbles.
Yeah, of all time.
Ever. Man, I spoke to someone. Okay, so true story. I have a friend at work who doesn't watch wrestling, knows I watch wrestling. The friend at work has a friend who also watches wrestling. Mm-hmm. And the friend at work says to me, hey, are you watching the Rumble right now? I'm like, yeah. Or this was like the day after, whatever it was. Last year. So last year's Rumble.
The one we were just talking about?
Or I guess the Drew McIntyre win.
Yeah.
Right? And they were like, my friend is pissed at what's happening right now. And I was like, oh shit, why? And they say, because a big John Morrison fan. John Morrison had just come back, and unfortunately, John Morrison was one of the victims of Brock Lesnar. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And then so they tell me, and they're like, yeah, John Morrison, apparently this guy named John Morrison came back, and he's really good, but he just like got thrown out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, but
it was part of the bigger picture.
What happened after was one of the biggest moments, and I guess this particular fan couldn't quite see
the greater good,
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, but no, the Royal Rumble, so many moments, like literally every 30 seconds to a minute, you get another moment. You just get excited for an entrance because you don't know what it's going to be.
You really don't.
And that's it. That's the greatest gimmick matches of all time.
Yeah. That was fantastic. Love me a good Rumble.
All right. Should we do one more list here and then take a break?
Yeah, that sounds about appropriate. Let's do an exciting one. I guess they're all exciting.
Yeah, what you mean, one of the big ones?
Like, if this were the Oscars, it would be like best.
They don't save the two biggest for the two last.
Lead act, but this would be like screenplay, not one of the biggest ones, but sort of also teetering on that.
Well, we've only we've only got
echelon.
By my count, I guess we got 4. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So we'll do one more. That'll give us 4.
Perfect.
Well, is it supposed to be me picking?
It's you picking.
You hyped it up like it was going to be pretty big.
You're picking it. So whatever it is, it's going to be pretty big.
I guess this has to be big. We'll go with, you created this category, the top 5 what ifs.
The top 5 what ifs.
In wrestling history. This could be crazy. You know what? Let me grab a fresh brew because this might take a minute. This is going to be exciting. Tell the folks at home what they're listening to.
Folks at home listening to the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. Of course, the only wrestling podcast is found online. So it's by Cameron Osborne, running through Shepherd. I got this little spinner belt, just like CM Punk, baby. Didn't The Rock held this for a short period of time? No, Edge did.
Edge. A couple others.
Cena. Miz upside down.
Miz.
If ever I'm feeling
Del Rio had it briefly.
Sauce. Aw.
Yeah. I hate
Why'd
Del
you
Rio.
have to say that?
Sorry.
If ever I'm feeling saucy, I'll turn it upside down, and then it's my Miz
Miz
title.
I came to play.
I came to the bird.
Back to play. Something like that. The top 5 what ifs. I picked it. That means I start, right?
That's correct.
I wrote this one backwards for some reason, so I got to read it upside down, just to make sure. Okay. Yeah, because you just gave me this topic midweek. So, what ifs? This is more kind of changing the course of history, right?
Very
Kinda
much so.
picking a moment. Like, what if this happened or this?
Or this didn't happen.
Exactly. So, I guess I'll just kick it off. Let's start off with, what if The Rock never goes to Hollywood, just stays as a wrestler? So, obviously, you'll miss out on some hit movies that...
I think he's currently the highest earning actor of all
time. So Hollywood itself,
multiple years. Yeah.
So not just the wrestling world, but Hollywood itself would be different. But I mean, would guys like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Batista, would they have become as big without The Rock leaving? Would we ever get a Jumanji remake? Just about how many things would happen? I don't know.
How many things would happen?
Like, do you think John Cena would be as big as he is now? Batista, those guys?
Because, yeah, Rock kind of like paved the door for them to...
His leaving left a big opening.
That's a good point. Oh, yeah, at the top of the company, yeah.
Yeah, but, just a little, what would have happened? I don't watch much of his movies, so that's not a big deal for me. You know, a couple more years of The Rock wrestling might have been okay.
Yeah, he still could have gone.
But if you're a fan of The Tooth Fairy, that's okay. I don't blame you. What's your favorite The Rock movie? Or Dwayne Johnson movie?
Like non-Fast and Furious related?
Okay, if that's
because
the only answer.
They would kind of
non-Fast and
occupy
Furious,
like
then.
8, like fast, like
8 of the 10 spots.
5, 7, 6, 8.
Okay, non-fast movie.
Non-Fast and Furious Rock movie. We'll come back to that one.
I can't even think of many that I've actually seen.
Yeah, not many really. That like I really the one skyscraper. The one when he was the in a skyscraper. That's
Is he like trying to get to the top of a burning building?
It's kind of like Die Hard.
Okay.
Kind of like Die Hard.
Yeah.
But the building's taller.
What? Was he also in a Rampage?
Yes, he was. That was a pretty good movie.
That's like based on the video game?
Based on the video game, yeah. Well, there's like big animals.
Yeah, but did they destroy buildings?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. They destroy a lot. I'd say, I dare go as far as say billions of dollars of damage occurs to this.
Well, if you play the video game, on the last level, you're in outer space and you can see the Earth and like a quarter of it's just missing.
Wow. Because you rampaged.
Yeah.
Wow.
Toronto's in that game.
Coming in at number 5 for me, Mike. I think the saying. What's the saying? Of course, it goes, "Great minds think alike."
Ah,
right.
That's a saying.
That is a saying.
Why? Do you have something about The Rock?
Mike, I think it applies to both you and I, because my question isn't if The Rock went Hollywood, what if John Cena didn't go Hollywood?
Oh.
Of course, we currently tout the 16-time champion tied with Ric Flair.
Hollywood's newest golden boy on the upside?
Yeah.
He's getting pretty big.
He's in the new Suicide Squad movie. Apparently he's got his own show coming off of that based on that same character. Beloved by everybody.
He's in He does voiceovers now.
If Ellen loves you, you're in.
Well, Ellen's gotten a lot of heat.
But if Ellen
Okay.
If Ellen loves you, you're in. If John Cena didn't go Hollywood, he would be, 18-time champion by now?
They're saving that 17%. He still will get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Had there not been movie complications and mix-ups, he could have just fucking gone right too.
Depending. He's like the voice of a company now, I think. Like Allstate Insurance or something.
They replaced the president from 24, Dennis Hubert.
I don't know if that's the... I'm just giving... No, I don't know. I'm just saying he's like something like that.
Oh, okay.
But, all right. Yeah, that was funny how that lined up our Hollywood
that was
things.
weird.
Okay, number 4. Let's see if this lines up. What if Triple H never starts a relationship with Stephanie McMahon? How does the company go? Does NXT even exist? All these sorts of things. I'm sure Triple H would have just continued wrestling as he does, but would he ever have been, in management? NXT surely doesn't exist.
So what you're saying is, Mike, if that marriage with Steph and Test, if that went through,
yeah, the
entire landscape of the professional wrestling world would be drastically different.
Very much could be, right?
Wow. Test, man, you missed out, bud. It could have been you.
No, and he actually was dating Stephanie in real life.
Test could have been the
NXT
in charge of NXT.
It was a form of life imitating art where Steph and Triple H were never romantically involved until the angle started. And then they were working together so much, and then
shenanigans.
As Taylor Swift says, sparks fly. whenever you. So, but yeah, man, no NXT. That would suck, right?
Exactly.
So there you go, Triple H. Papa H, as they call him in NXT.
That's what they call him?
Yeah.
Pops, PH. Call him...
Papa H.
Coming at number...
4?
4 for me. That is correct. You ask yourself the question, if NXT was never formed... I ask myself the question, Mike, what if AEW was never formed?
Wow. That's isn't that funny how we line up again?
We line up again, looking at these two promotions. In a world where AEW never formed, we all know so many of the entire Bullet Club were offered wild contracts with the main roster. If that would have been there, would they have said no anyways and gone to Japan? Would Ring of Honor be popping off right now? What? Whoa.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely would have some. Kenny Omega, I feel, was already pretty close to WWE. Before AEW started. There was hot rumors. Remember the Royal Rumble came around?
I do, and everyone's like, oh shit, this is the day.
Some of them, but definitely some of them would probably be like, fuck that.
And Adam Page was going to be top star. They were going to give him the Karrion Kross treatment.
Yeah, some of them
NXT.
I think it could have been good. It could have worked out, but I think we're in a much better world right now.
And not only that, no AEW, where's MJF's rise to prominence? Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah, we wouldn't even know these names.
We wouldn't be talking about the best friends and 5-star matches.
Yeah. I definitely like the world we're living in where AEW does exist.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. WWE would benefit. We would get some great wrestlers, but too much. They wouldn't know what to do with them.
They wouldn't know what to do. That's exactly it.
Okay. Moving on. My number 3, what if? This is another one that could change the landscape of wrestling, kind of as we know it. Well, some degree. Because what if the 4 horsewomen never existed? Would women's wrestling be where it is today if the 4 were? It still would exist, but they had such a landmark in changing the whole scope of how people perceived it and looking forward to it and stealing the shows.
I'm sure if you were to ask every single one of those women in that NXT locker room, who were your gals?
Yeah.
All those 4 names are coming up probably for all of them.
Yeah, and for all future generations, for the next little.
Yeah.
Even Daniel Bryan's daughter. She's like, I fucking love Sasha. Fuck you, Brie.
Yeah. Bree's like who's your
favorite wrestler, baby?
He's like, Charlotte.
But, this women's revolution was going to happen either way. There's too much talent not to, but they surely did kickstart it, made everyone take notice and say, hey, man, this is some good shit.
It's some good shit.
And that's that.
Very much so. Very much so. That's great. Coming at number 3 for me, I always ask myself this question. I feel like we ask ourselves this question every single week on the podcast. What if Vince wasn't booking this? What the fuck would be happening right now? Lars Sullivan would be gone.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman would be gone. Keith Lee would be champ. Who knows what the both sides of these shows will look like?
Yeah, that's a question that we've been asking for years and years. And
the entire duration of the show.
Every once in a while he still pulls.
There's gold all over
there's
the place,
more,
baby.
Overall, there's more good than bad in the wrestling in the main roster world. But whenever we see something really fucked up, we always know what the source is or who decided that. It usually does come back to Mr. McMahon. And, I think, as we talked about earlier, Triple H taking over the future, I think will be in good hands. And we might notice a drastic shift to, if the main roster was more like NXT, I think everyone would kind of have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just in regards to booking and matches. But
I agree.
So that was your pick?
That was my 3, so now it's your 2.
My number 2, what if? This is a moment in wrestling that the earth stood still. Kind of changed everything, Yeah, literally. It's the most loud silence I've ever heard. Because when The Undertaker's streak was broken at WrestleMania 30, life was never the same in some ways. The wrestling world, something died that day. I'm not going to lie.
The day the wrestling died?
Yeah, honestly, it was shocking. It was shocking. So what if that streak is never broken? I'm saying The Undertaker should have retired 2 years prior at WrestleMania 28.
Shawn Michaels?
After that, the Shawn Michaels was still great. But 28 he was 20-0. It was that Hell in a Cell end of an era match with Triple H. So, what if he had retired there, the legacy, he had a couple good matches since, but I think he those Saudi Arabia. A lot of tarnishing went on in the last couple years.
Yeah, certainly
it was such a perfect legacy to retire on 20-0.
The graveyard match was
Boneyard match.
Boneyard match. Sorry,
Yeah.
if that was the one.
That's the one caveat. Without that, the streak ending.
If that was the one match, or if that's his last match, fantastic.
Yeah, that's what it should be at this point.
No, it shouldn't have been the Saudi shows.
No, but yes, I wish we lived in the world where the streak was never broken. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Amen. Coming in number 2 for me, Mike, great minds think alike. Have you ever heard this quote?
Shakespeare.
Romeo. Because Mike, mine, of course, the Undertaker streak was broken by a man.
A beast.
A beast. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
My question to you, Mike, involves Brock Lesnar. Coming in for number 2 for me, what if Brock Lesnar never got suspended from the UFC after his match at UFC 200? Okay, so here is a little bit of backtrack. So Brock Lesnar, UFC 200, he's co-main eventing a match against Mark Hunt in which he wins, like a TKO victory in like the second round or something.
Big fight on one of the biggest UFC pay-per-views of all time.
Of course, the Centennial.
200.
Oh, I can't wait for episode.
The bicentennial.
I can't wait for our episode 200. What are we gonna do?
Oh yeah.
But okay, so he loses, so he wins this match and then gets found out with some kind of like human growth hormone, something diuretic. Maybe.
He disputes it at first.
He disputes it, but like it's upheld. He's suspended.
Yeah. But the match result stands, right?
No, I think it becomes like a no contest, right?
Okay.
So he loses this match.
Does he lose his winner's prize then? Whatever.
I guess. I don't know. I wonder.
He probably got paid either way.
However, this opened the door for a career in WWE or return to WWE because at the time he was signed for multiple matches within the UFC. His plan was for him to win. They were going to push him back to the heavyweight division. Him and Daniel Cormier, that was going to be the big thing that would have occupied.
Because he looked good in his win.
He looked fantastic. It was going to occupy pretty much the time, because of course, like with training and then the actual booking the match and UFC, of course, UFC matches are booked months and months in advance.
You only fight like once or twice a year.
It pretty much would have taken over the exact time that he beat Goldberg at Mania. Would have been those proposed matches. He was suspended for X amount of years and just said, "Fuck it, I can still get paid elsewhere." That's my big question, because he was champion. He was the distant champion for so long. It felt like,
we wouldn't have had that
amongst the show.
That 454 or whatever day Universal title reign might not have happened or whatever, where he wasn't even there.
It's almost like he gets a little asterisk. It's like doesn't count.
Yeah, no, I mean that is a big what if there. That's a good one there. And even on the UFC side of things, that's another. Like we could have got a couple cool. He's the kind of guy. Like I've said before, I don't watch it closely, but he's the guy I tune in. I'd watch his fights. Like Khabib, I watch every Khabib fight. Did you watch the one a week ago?
Yeah.
That was a great
I didn't
fight.
watch it live. Watched it in kind of the post.
He's unbeatable, and he's retired. But this isn't UFC talk.
UFC talk.
My number one.
Okay, what's your number 1 going to be? Now, I think I have an idea. Okay? And it's not the one idea I'm going to say. It's the other idea I think I have. But I can only say one. What if Nia Jax never broke Becky Lynch's nose at that Survivor Series build-up?
No, that's a very good one, though. That's a very good one.
Damn.
I know. I didn't
You're wearing the shirt. You're wearing the shirt. I thought.
Dumb man. No, I did actually think of that and consider it. That did have, ramifications. She would have fought Ronda Rousey then.
At Survivor Series,
that would have not had the
she probably would have lost, maybe.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have had reason for revenge.
But she was already in the midst of her huge way up.
Of course.
And then that just made people care even more.
Well, I guess that asks the second what if. What if, because we wouldn't have gotten the photo of Becky Lynch with her nose sideways, blood dripping down her face, standing there like a
looking like
badass.
a motherfucker and saving it for WrestleMania.
Amen.
This is a bonus what if.
Ooh, bonus what if.
But no, that's not what I have here. I've got one of the most infamous moments in wrestling that kind of changed course for many people at many different times on one night here in our home nation of Canada, but not in this province. I'm going to Quebec, of course. I'm talking about the Montreal Screwjob because the domino effect. If that never happened, of course, Bret Hart stays in WWE, but that whole thing kind of invented the Mr. McMahon heel character because before he barely even showed up on TV. So without him, do we get Stone Cold becoming, he had no boss to feud with? And does he become as over as he does? Or does Bret Hart kind of just linger around and win the title a couple more times? Or does WCW win the Monday Night War? Who knows?
Oh, my God.
All the things that could happen.
That has a lot of shit.
So what if?
A lot of shit.
What if?
Would Shawn Michaels have just fallen by the wayside?
Yeah, he doesn't win the belt there. He doesn't become the huge... Does DX ever happen? Because that kind of is what started that. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, that is the big one. That is the biggest one, they say.
That's a moment in time we'll never forget.
Well, okay. Time for mine.
Let me guess. I had to guess a moment ago. What if... I don't know. We already did some big ones, like the AEW. Unless one of mine is one of yours as well. That could always happen.
This might be a tough one for you. Glass on the field.
It's always empty.
Those kids, the bottle kids.
This might be a tough one.
Sirens in the background.
Might be a tough one, you say.
It might be a tough one.
Why? Is it specific? Pretty specific?
It's pretty specific.
Like individual?
It's pretty damn specific.
Then I probably won't get it. I feel like it's like, what if this person didn't...
No. Okay, well, you're throwing a guess. Sorry, I shouldn't have been saying shit.
No. I needed these hints.
That's ruined the integrity of the entire, the spontaneity of the entire event.
I know, but I was feeding off. What if? I don't even know. What if? This is a hard one.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Yeah.
I guess you could concede a guess.
I'll just throw out, what if WCW won the Monday Night War?
What if, right?
Just for sure.
Oh, dude, there's so much Eric Bischoff on our faces all the time.
Yeah.
No, Mike. For this what if, I'm taking us back to a particular event. Of course, the day is December 4th, 2016. Mike, it's a Sunday night in early December.
Yeah, I know exactly where we're going.
And
we're going to my basement.
I'm sitting at home. I'm like, hey, Mike, what am I? I was like, I'm going to text Mike, maybe see what he's doing tonight. I say, hey, Mike, it's Sunday night. What are you doing? And you're like, hey, man, I'm doing nothing. I'm hanging out in my basement, but I'm going to be watching some wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's December 4th, 2016. I have a job, so I can afford to get some booze. I live but a stone throws away, and I say to my shelf, I say...
You turn to your shelf, and
I turn to my shelf, and I say, shelf!
You got a lot of books here, eh?
I say to myself, shelf, should I go over to Mike's and watch some professional wrestling? And Mike, I said yes.
Yeah, but you were doing it more for the hangout. You didn't care that much about the wrestling at the time.
And Mike, I guess my biggest question is, what if I didn't text you to ask what you were doing on December 4th, 2016, where you said, I'm watching some professional wrestling, you want to come over? And I said yes.
Well, I mean, this show itself.
We wouldn't be here in this
I might
room.
not be in this seat at this very moment.
The world outside would still be crazy, but who knows? We wouldn't have made it to 100.
A lot different.
Would there be 100 episodes? Would the Shooties even be a thing?
I don't know. Who knows?
The Shooties, the most prestigious awards in professional wrestling, may not have even existed if it wasn't for attending that night.
That fateful day. And we should mention that awesome TLC pay-per-view had an excellent match, which helped win you over. What was it? AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose?
That's correct.
The fucking crazy 450 splash to the floor, through the table. We were going nuts. And you were won over from that night. You're like, all right, every single week. Alexa Bliss won the title that night. Like, yeah, she's my girl now. I got one over, and I always ask myself, what if I didn't say yes? Well, exactly. The course of history was changed that night. That's great. That's a nice little personal one there. Very personal to me. Mike, I think we should take a break. Take a break. Let's take a break. We've been doing the show. We're going to come back because we have more top 5 lists, and probably that's all the time that we've got. We might squeeze a would you rather in there. Yeah. I don't even know. We can just do that. I don't even think we have time. We got full gear. We're having too much fun. No spoilers. Yeah. We're having more fun. Come back with the second half of the podcast, because the second half of the podcast, we'll be back. We've got more top 5 lists, so stick around. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do the list. That'll be Part 2 of episode 100. Episode 100. We got the Century Edition. Yeah, God. I mean, a lot has happened in the past 100 years. Of course, in the year 1920, World War I was still called the Great War. The Great War. The Toronto Maple Leafs were a young, budding franchise. Yeah, we're just awaiting a century of disappointment.
No, only a half century.
Half century.
They won a bunch of cups in the first half.
You're listening to the Shoot Brothers Part 2, episode 100. Of course, we have we're still knocking out these lists, of course.
Our tribute to pretty much the whole history of wrestling.
Our tribute to all the things that we love
exactly.
about this
old,
sport.
new, modern. Some of these people are dead, but that's okay. Some of them are still wrestling.
Some are alive.
We're still here.
Yeah.
You're still here. And we're going to have some fun banging out some more lists.
We're gonna fun, and I'm gonna kick off the first list.
Indeed. Let's do that.
Let's get to a big one to start off. Let's talk belt designs.
Woo!
Hey. Top 5 belt designs.
Will it make the list? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Who knows? You know, belts really important when I think of like the image of a particular superstar holding it up.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. Like championship. Like when you're in other sports, you get your day with the trophy, the cup, you celebrate. But when you're a champ in wrestling, you carry it around all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, UFC, boxing, they do it as well. But wrestling, it's more. You know, they use it as a prop. You hit people with it. You do all these crazy things.
It's sometimes the most devastating weapon that can be used.
Yeah. And it is still have that prestigious look. Like they all, for the most part, they all look nice. I mean, that's what we're here to decide.
That's what we're here to decide. So I'm going to kick it off coming in at number 5. So I just wrote up images of all the belt designs and just sort of looked at them all.
Like there's no, I mean, if you want to include some promotion from some obscure thing, that's your right.
Nice, you're right, baby.
But yeah, what's your
coming in at number 5 for me is the current Intercontinental Championship.
The current
iteration
the
of
black
it.
and gold, the one that's
black
only been
and gold,
around.
It's circular in the middle. Hasn't been around for a very long time.
No.
Of course, Sami Zayn looks great holding
It's
on
nice.
to it.
I will say of the most modern, like it's not just a giant W. It looks like a nice championship.
It looks like a thing.
Yeah. No,
And,
that's a good. Yeah.
And for that reason, it's number 5 for me.
That's a good choice. All right, I'll give you my number 5. It's also a current, newer title.
Okay.
I think it might be the best looking current world title going today. So I'm talking about the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
Baby.
Yeah, I know it's only number 5, but I still think it's one of the best looking titles of all time. It's just so clean, so crisp. You got the gold, you got the company logo, you got the side plate. Black and gold is what a belt should be.
Yes, there's no fanfare and much to do with my current IC title, but it's black and gold.
Yeah.
It's chunky.
It's chunky, but a world title should be chunky.
It really should be because it belongs around a heavyweights belt.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, not that a little guy can't have it.
Not that a little guy can't handle it.
It's a damn nice belt. And Bret Hart, remember, he was the one that introduced it.
I way too quickly and upside down. I'll never forget. Coming in at number 4. When he did the belt, the camera had to react so fast. You know
and the camera just goes, what?
Like you know when the best friends do their hug and it zooms out really quickly? It was that equivalent of a zoom in terms of speed. It was like, oh shit, we gotta get it.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 4 for me is another current title. It's also in the sole current iteration. The current iteration of the title is the only version of it that we've ever seen. We're talking the NXT North American title. We were just saying black and gold seems to be a standard, and I think those are probably a color scheme that may come up later on in the list, but something about, there is that burgundy maroon.
Yeah, it works. It's not like a bright red like the Universal title.
Or the TNT Championship. It's sort of like a little off red, and it just has
very classy
the
looking.
nice side of the globe.
Yeah, it's a very classy looking title. You got the continent there. Yeah, it's a very good looking belt, and it's been very, only every champion's been a damn good wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, a good history of champ.
I think we can also. I think you and I could say we've seen every single title change in that belt's history.
Yes, I've seen every single title change in that belt's history.
So let's give you my number 4 now.
Let's hear it.
This is a belt that's no longer around. I mean, in spirit, it's moved on. It's become other things, but this actual title, this version of it, is no longer around. So I'm talking about the WWF World Tag Titles. The ones that were around for the longest time when it was just one, it's like the mid-90s. You can kind of picture the middle plate shape like that.
Yep, I can picture it.
See, folks, that's the shape.
We can picture it, folks. The little spade, the lace of spades.
Yeah, so the one that the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, all the Dudley Boys, the one that they fought over, it's just such another black on gold, but just so much, you don't see WWF logos everywhere. Just a damn nice looking title.
Just a damn.
2 titles.
Nice
they both
damn.
look good.
looking title. Mike, that was a fantastic thing. That was fantastic. Coming in at number 3 for me, I guess. That was your number 3.
That was my number 4.
That was your number 4.
Because you
this
let
is my
us
number
off.
3 because I started
the leadoff hitter
category.
That's all right.
Well, let's just kick it right off then, shall we? This is a current championship in a promotion on the planet. It's currently held somebody. It's currently in this very room.
Whoa! The spinner belt?
The spinner belt. Well, the spinner belt. That's right. The current iteration of the WWE Championship.
Yes. This is the one that goes back all the way to Bruno Sammartino. This is the history. This is the lineage.
Like this particular lineage of
It looks a lot different, but this belt.
It's super clear and concise. Like the black and the gold.
Mm-hmm. I know I was talking about complaining about the big W, but in this case, it does work.
In this case, it does work because it looks more like
prestigious.
It looks more like a design.
Yeah,
just sort of a pattern. Just zigzags.
Yeah. And you get your
like
little custom. Everyone gets their own little. This started this. Now all the other ones do it too, but that started the side plate.
This belt exactly, and the Ran Man. You know what I'm saying?
The Ran Man. Like I said, I'm glad that some of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, some of those guys, they have held this belt
exactly with honor.
All those guys. All right. That was your number 3. My number 3. I'm going with a design that's not currently around, but a little while ago we saw it. I love the Intercontinental title when it was the white strap with the gold. Mm-hmm. We don't see a whole lot of white. The women's do all white now, but for the men, just a really nice look. And yeah, back in the day, the Mr. Perfects, the Shawn Michaels, all those great old reigns. Then it went away, and then they brought it back. I think it's the only time besides that and the big gold, the only time they brought back a belt design. Normally they just change it. So.
Right. Usually they change it for good and then it's gone forever.
Yeah. So.
You're right. Can certainly agree. Something about it's almost what makes it unique. Similarly to like the NXT title, North American title, having the different color does make it feel unique in that own way.
Because it looks cool.
Different strap color.
Yeah. That's my number 3.
I guess this is my number 2. Coming in number 2 for me. You just said it. It was your number 5, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It's a fantastic looking belt. Bret Hart introducing it way too fast and upside down. Yeah. I'll never forget that.
And like a week after getting tackled at the Hall of Fame.
Like a week after getting tackled by some guy, by some white guy in a Rastafarian hat.
That was a nice fuck you to Vince, though. It's like, I was on your Hall of Fame, and a week later I'm on an EW TV.
And it looks fantastic.
Oh, damn good looking belt. Yeah.
We're doing technical things here.
I just press it once?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. Technical things here. We're trying something new.
The screen's supposed to be black?
Is it on? I think it's on.
The screen's black. Does it matter? The screen's black?
I don't know.
Do you want to check real quick?
We're going to check our camera. Mike, you give me your number 2. Dude, I just gave you my number 2.
Okay.
You got to give me your number 2, baby.
I'll give you my number 2. This is old school.
This is the story of a girl. I'll go.
Okay. Yes, I'm talking old school. This is the first belt. Probably the first belt I ever saw in wrestling as a child. Do you want to?
Keep going.
Do you want to? Okay, yes. Yeah. This
for the listeners at home, I'm stuck around cables.
I just see him doing things. Yeah, the first belt I ever saw as a child left such an imprint. Some of the greatest of all time. Macho Man Randy Savage held this belt. Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, that whole era. Because, of course, I'm talking about the Winged Eagle, as it's commonly known among fans. That heavyweight version of the championship belt. The WWF World title. The Eagle, the Globe, the black, the gold. It's all there. The Winged Eagle belt. A damn good looking title.
Yeah, something... just something iconic, especially. Like, that carried the company for years.
Yeah, from like the 80s to the late 90s. That was the belt. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm. That was really the one.
That was Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Stone Cold was the last one to hold it before it switched over.
Really?
But yeah, damn good looking belt.
Damn good looking belt, which only means that we can finally arrive at the number 1 selection. So what's it going to be? Mike, it's my number 1. So what do you think I'm saying?
Yeah, Sivara. So we've done the WWE. We've done this one. We've done...
AEW, North American.
Yeah. Let's think. I don't know. It could be one of the ones I liked already as well. That's always an option.
Ooh.
Oh. Was that a hint? I don't know. Let me go. You're number one? I don't know. Maybe that was a hint. I'm going to play off the hint and say the Winged Eagle. Number one?
The Winged Eagle, not number one.
No.
The Winged Eagle, not number one. But, Mike, you did say it prior because I have to agree the white IC title belt may be my favorite belt in professional wrestling. Here's the reason why. I think it was when I kind of entered the world, it was The Miz. The Miz held it.
Yeah.
And he did such a great job of letting you know.
He made
He
it
held it.
feel special. That
He
belt.
really did. He
Yeah.
made it feel special, and loved the old iteration, loved the new iteration, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Two
good.
very, very different
And even the
belts.
one in between, did you see that it was like kind of like wider and like the Attitude Era version?
Does it have like red writing?
Yeah. Yeah, red
Okay, I
writing.
think I
Still
can
black and
picture
gold. Yeah.
Red writing. Red writing.
What's that backwards?
Gingrich
I don't know. So that was your number one. Do you want to guess my number one?
I think I guess you're number one. I mean, you've had championship belts and tag belts. Are you a U.S. title fan? You're not a United Statesman.
I'm not.
So maybe that's not even the case. But I think we're sticking within WWE, and I think we have to look no further than the belt that lays in front of us. The current iteration of the WWE Championship.
I do love this belt, but it is, alas, it is not number one. No, number one more represents the number one era for me as wrestling as a child. When the Winged Eagle evolved into the Big Eagle, the Globe version, the more round version, the Attitude Era version, the Stone Cold, the Rock, the Kane, the Mick Foley, all that stuff. They all held it. The Big Eagle, the Big Globe, that's my favorite title of all time.
That was the one.
That's the one.
Damn.
That was the most prized title in all of sports entertainment. In all of history, in that moment of time, there's never been higher numbers.
Truly it was, yeah. Even the big gold belt didn't hold shit next to that.
But that's it.
Those are the top five belt designs.
Championships.
Yeah.
And within them, they were all pretty prestigious picks. There was no like cruiserweight title on here. Anymore.
No, there was nothing I think out of left field that neither one of us.
Like the European title, that's a great looking title, but I didn't
good.
pick it.
Yeah.
All right. You picked that one. I picked the next list. I guess there's only one way to go from here before we get to the main events.
The main events.
Let's do the top 5 factions / groups / stables, whatever you want to call them. A collective of wrestlers, men, women, female, whatever you have you. They get together, they form a group, and a lot of times they do great things. Sometimes we forget them forever. But let's kick it off with number 5, a group that's only been around a little while, but in a short time have made a huge impact, carrying their show in some ways. I'm talking about the Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle.
AEW.
That's getting pretty high. That's pretty high up.
I mean, yeah, they've, short time in the business, but some legends. You got Jericho, all the young guys, or not MJF yet.
Who knows? No spoilers.
But Sammy Guevara's in there. You got the tag team. Such a great group. Every great group needs the veteran leader. Then you got the young upstart. You got the tag team. They got such a good package going on.
It's a very well-formed group in that, yeah, like you said, leader, young gun,
Yeah.
a tag team,
And then the heavy
bruiser.
Jake Hager.
Like it's sort of like that is their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they cover
that's
all the
why,
bases.
yeah, in a short time, they've made a big impression. So they make my list.
They really have new merch every single day.
Yeah. Great merch.
New shirt.
I want one of the jackets that MJF gave him. So
Yeah, one that's way too baggy.
team. No, not that one. All right. Sir.
All right, sir. Coming in at number 5 for me. We're talking factions. I look no further than the New Day.
The New Day. Yeah, that's a damn good. I mean, it is a faction.
They are a faction.
They also counted as a tag team. Some groups can
of
cross over.
Of course. Well, some groups,
We
some
must
groups
clarify
can.
that. You're
some
allowed.
groups can. That's exactly it. The New Day work the best when the 3 of them are on top. Of course, they hosted Mania
The
together.
trombone Francine's in there.
All that stuff. And who were the 2 to congratulate Kofi Kingston after WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It was the 2 members of his
Tears,
faction.
the emotions, one of the great world title wins of our time.
Amen.
Very well deserved. The New Day. Sticking in that kind of current era. Another great trio. I'm going with the Shield. One of the best of our eras. Obviously, all 3 men went on to become world heavyweight champions, future single stars. But as a group, right from the bat, they were the exact opposite of Retribution. Right from the bat, they were treated legit. They were treated main event. They were beating top guys, John Cena, CM Punk. And they protected them, not overbooked them, because people love the Shield. It wasn't until they broke them up when they started overbooking Roman and shit. So, got to give it to the Shield.
Got to give it to the Shield. God damn it. Mike, that was your number 4. Mike, I think this is the first time this has ever happened.
Uh-oh.
At least in this episode, episode 100, we're 7 different lists in, and we have finally reached a consensus. The Shield, that is correct. So, Shield as best friends, don't know much about, had to learn about. Shield as enemies, entertaining. Shield reuniting as best friends again and getting mumps.
And then Kurt Angle
that was a whole thing. The entire arc, you're exactly right. And the career that the 3 of them are living now, look like even as their careers...
All 3 are still living large in the world of wrestling.
And all 3 are wearing pants.
And 2 of them are wearing heavyweight belts to hold up those pants.
All 3 are wearing pants and no shirt.
Sometimes I feel like some of them wrestle in shirts.
John Moxley does shorts when he's in Japan, but pants in AW. Roman's no shirt and pants now. And Seth
used to have the vest sometimes.
That was like an entrance vest.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we on here? Number 3?
Number 3.
For me? Okay. This just tells you that there's been some pretty good stables in the modern era of wrestling. Because that's what I'm sticking with here. It started as a trio, became a quartet, and since then, they have just been nothing but undisputed. It's coming in at number 3. I'm talking about Undisputed Era. We love them. We talk about them pretty much every week on the show at some point.
Of course, they're going to come up whenever what's happening. They've probably been on every single show.
Yeah, we saw the rise, the climb to capturing all the gold, which they finally accomplished, and that great record.
And I remember, Adam Cole's arrival was one of those first NXT moments that I was like, oh, what's NXT?
Yeah.
What is the Undisputed Era?
I didn't know much about Adam Cole coming in.
And then the Roderick Strong coming over. They've had a great arc, and they've been on top.
Yeah, and they still haven't broken up, so, still more to come.
Yeah. Well, Mike, coming in at number 3 for me, I'm glad there's so many similarities going on right now.
Uh-oh.
So many similarities. Number 3 for me is none other than Le Champion, Le Bellator, Les Hermanos,
Pride and Powerful,
Mexicocos,
yeah,
and the most dangerous man on the planet. We're talking about the inner circle.
You forgot Mr. Longsleeves,
the most dangerous man on the planet.
Oh, that's what he's called.
Well, that's what I'm calling him.
Oh, because he injures Matt Hardy all the time.
All the time. The inner circle, same thing. This like a faction coming in. Being formed, being hot, so over, gave us that great Stadium Stampede match, whatever that means.
What do you mean? It was great.
It was great. No, I mean whatever Stadium Stampede. We had no clue what it was going to be.
Oh, well, by the end, we all knew.
By the end, we knew it was, okay, it happens in a stadium. So they are a solid number 3 for me.
Very solid number 3. All right, number 2. It's been all recent, so I got to go a little old school now.
Okay.
They left their mark. I was a young boy. This was the time when everyone was watching. Even if you weren't watching wrestling, you knew what was going on. On the playground.
Of course.
People, you know what this means. If you go like this to someone, you're telling them to suck it. And D-Generation X, they've come, they've gone, they've come back a couple times, but I mostly remember the early eras. I'm putting them up here. D-Generation X, so much fun. Yeah. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Mike Tyson, the New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, China. That was the good era. And so much fun happened.
The biggest faction of that Attitude Era.
I remember being an 8-year-old. The first wrestling, I barely ever got to watch pay-per-views back then because it's like
no, you had to pay per view.
Yeah, my parents were like, "Fuck that."
This is before the internet.
Yeah, before the network.
Well, thank God for the network.
But it was my brother's birthday, and it was like the weekend of WrestleMania 14, so we're like, let's order it. As a birthday present to him, we got to watch it, and he had one of his friends over, and it was the main event with Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, DX, and then... So I was still watching wrestling, but this was like the first time I really got like super exposed to DX because like pay-per-views and they're a little more raunchy. So
of course
I was like learning the suck it, and then I started doing the suck it all night just on the couch. I was standing up and doing this. And parents don't like that kind of stuff. You know, you're an 8-year-old.
Parents don't like kids suck.
I remember I was doing it. My brother's friend's like, stop, you're going to get in trouble. And I was like, suck it. I just kept jumping up.
Suck it.
I was so excited. And then the main event, Shawn Michaels lost and retired for 4 years. I was heartbroken. But wow. DX, though, man, they had such a great impact. Then they came. Wow. They were corny in the late 2000s. They were corny.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't erase what they did. You know, like when a band releases a shitty album, doesn't make
a difference. We still love the band.
Yeah, we still love the band.
Mike, that's fantastic. Fuck, that was going to be my number one for you. So I don't know who to pick. I do not know who to pick. Coming in number 2.
I'll say you swerved me when I put the Inner Circle at number 5. You almost made me think you weren't going to have them on your list.
Oh,
the way
okay.
you were speaking, you were like, "Oh, they're new."
I'm trying to make it dramatic. You know,
yeah, I like it.
Coming in at number 2 for me is a group that hasn't been on the list yet. Not from me, of course, because I'm not mentioning them until now, and not from you at all.
Well, you don't know. I still have one more pick.
That's a good point. Coming in number 2 for me is a faction which has evolved over the years. Many members, many leaders. Factions that have changed the course of wrestling history as we even know it. I'm talking the Bullet Club.
The Bullet Club.
Bullet Club. Specifically...
Yeah,
sort of
the
version that I'm thinking of is Kenny, Cody, Bucks, Hangman.
Okay.
I
mean, there's been.
Of course, but
Finn
you know, of
Balor
course,
had
AJ Styles has been
Carl Anderson
you know,
with AJ, yeah.
Exactly. The faction has stood the test of time, years across the globe, multiple continents.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick. You get a lot value for that.
A lot of value.
A lot of value.
Big
That's
bang
a value
for your
pick
buck.
on the draft board.
Bang for your buck. Isn't that a Young Bucks finisher? More bang for your bucks.
Yeah. So that was your number 2.
That was my number 2. And Mike, I can't. The DX was going to be my number 1 for you. I don't even know. I can't even think of who would be, because it involves Shawn Michaels. I can't think of anyone fucking else. I really can't.
I don't know. Do you want to throw out the Wild?
The Hurt Business.
No, but you never know though. They're on a very good.
They're on a good path.
If we do this list in another
100 episodes,
episode 200,
yeah.
If we update the list. But no, alas. There is a big one that you might have just not thought about much. I just have to give it. It got a little crazy. It's like the Bullet Club. Many different versions and leaders kind of came and gone. But the NWO was the biggest thing on the planet for 1997. This is when WCW was still beating. I was always WWF number 1, but this was when WCW was beating them. And, you know, I watched the next day. NWO was the hottest shit, man. People had the shirts. Even the Wolf Pack came out. People liked that at the time, the red version, and so many versions. Hollywood Hogan, I like him better than any version of Hulk Hogan. I hated Hulkamania as a kid. Even as a kid, I liked the heels a lot. But it did get crazy. It got stupid with Russo and all that bad booking.
And
but for a while, man, NWO was the shit.
The shit.
Yeah, the craziest. The spray paint. They invented the spray paint on the people.
On
the
stuff.
Belt, the people's anything.
Just spray painting shit.
Yeah,
that
they corrupted.
NWO.
They took over. They were the first corrupt. We're gonna take over. We're gonna fuck shit up. Everything Retribution wishes it could be. But yeah, NWO, baby. That's like the Bullet Club. It includes all versions.
Yeah, very much so. Okay.
That's my number 1. I'll guess your number 1. This one, I think I might have it. I think I mentioned it already. Because I'm going with the Undisputed Era.
I mean, it's just written on my face, right?
It's just written on your face. There's some things.
We've talked tag teams, of course. We sung that song.
Yeah, we got to see a main
ad
event.
nauseum main event. We
2 out of 3
got to do the
match.
boom
live,
which was huge. Of course, the Undisputed Era. There's nobody else that and I sort of said it before. Adam Cole coming through the crowd. That happened when I was listening to other wrestling podcasts that were sort of describing this thing called NXT. And I remember that being the first moment of me being or looking into it, oh shit, this guy kind of came through the crowd. Everyone loved him. What is happening? Who is this person?
Why does everyone already know him? What's this?
Yeah, why does everybody already know him? And then kind of one step further, what is NXT?
Yeah,
I learned that day, baby.
Indeed, baby, indeed.
I learned.
So is the screen supposed to stay off? It's just off.
Who knows at this point, folks?
I'm hitting the button. I don't know.
We're hitting the button, folks. Hope you guys are liking the show. We're dealing with technical difficulty, not difficulty. We're trying something new. I would hardly say it's difficulties because we're trying something new. Adding a video component to
as the
whole kind of thing.
All the famous podcasts these days, the
right,
Joe Rogans, the Joey Diaz.
Of course, and now all systems can be refined, but we're working on it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Just try something new. Well, Mike, you picked factions, which means that we're coming down to our final 3 top 5 categories. Of course, the best actor, director, picture, as it were. Aren't we?
Is it 3 or 2 left?
3.
What am I missing? Didn't we come back and do belts and then factions?
Yeah.
What do we have left? Wrestlers, matches.
And pay-per-views?
I didn't know if we did pay-per-views.
Oh, I thought we wrote that one down.
Just like... Oh no!
This is all live, folks.
Well, listen.
Live.
Is it a specific pay-per-view or just like not like this year of pay-per-view or just this pay-per-view?
It was like I thought we said. Yeah, that's specific, like a specific pay-per-view. You know, like SummerSlam '96.
I think I missed that one
or something. Oh shit! Okay, our first gaff.
I might be able to come up with it.
No. We don't ask that. Of course, you know this is live.
Yeah, I must have overlooked that on the list of lists as we were coming up with them back and forth. I apologize.
Don't apologize. No.
I mean,
no. I would rather you have some,
No, but I'm sure you put a lot of thought into yours, though.
I had put some thought in, but that's okay.
Well, you know what? This is the debut of the segment. The segment's going to continue after tonight. So our first weekly edition of Top 5 can be, well, not necessarily weekly, but on the weekly episode, our first Top 5 will be Top 5 pay-per-views.
Maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah.
So in a week or two, we'll do that for list. Save your list because you put a lot of work into it.
It's italicized here on my computer. No, that's okay. Don't apologize.
No, but we will do it in 2 weeks' time or something.
Perfect.
We'll throw it in there when we don't have trivia. We can just do that in between.
Perfect. Sounds great. Well, then I guess it's
the big 2.
It's the big 2. So I'm gonna say I guess I get to pick. I get to pick which one we do first.
Yeah. What's going on last?
Or what's going on last? Rather,
you get both. You choose both.
I get to pick first by picking last. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick none other than the top 5 matches.
That's what I would have picked too.
So
we are in agreed.
I was thinking about it. Of course, top 5 matches ever. Now, I think this is where our lists will be the most different. I think these last two categories will very much reflect, sort of, because I've certainly seen matches from the olden days,
of course,
but possibly things that I watched in retrospect and you were watching live.
Of course. There's something to be said about that, being in the moment of seeing it for the first time live.
Yeah.
That you can never replicate.
You can never replicate.
And going back, you can go back and watch it and you can be like, I knew what that feels like, but if you go back and watch it, you can't feel the same.
Well, coming in at number 5 for me, I mean, you just said being in the moment. Mike, imagine being in the arena.
Woo!
When such an incredible thing happens. Coming in at number 5 for me will be The Fiend's debut at SummerSlam 2019, taking on Finn Balor. Normal, regular-ass Finn Balor. Nothing demon-y about him.
Leather jacket.
This, one of those, for me, the in-ring action was fine, but it was the presentation. We got to be there to experience something that nobody had ever seen before in the professional wrestling scape, something that we've been waiting for fucking years. And it finally happened.
And it was a damn fun. Sometimes a squash match is the perfect. It was like 2 minutes. He just dominated him. He did the neck snap. He finished him, and we all fucking loved it. We just loved it.
And we were all better for it.
Yeah, we were all better people at the end.
At the end of the day.
Okay. That was a great number 5. My number 5 is from the same, well, not the same year, but the same pay-per-view, SummerSlam. I'm talking SummerSlam 2013. Let me tell a slight personal story about this. This is like your text message. Not like changing, but you were involved in this moment. You might not even realize it.
I was involved in this moment. I think I know exactly what's about to happen.
SummerSlam 2013?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we were coming home from Coachella.
We were.
You know all about this.
We were.
Yeah, so you and Sam, our friend of the show, Sam, former bass player of the rock and roll band Pending.
The famous rock and roll band Pending.
So they were in the front seat. I was in the back seat. We were coming home from Coachella, this nice music festival party where we had just played the night before, I think. Or maybe not.
Yeah. That was exactly it.
So we were on the way home, and to no knowledge of the men in the front seat, I was very excited for the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Looking to months. You could say this was probably the brightest spark in my life at the moment. I was looking forward to this match. Sometimes we have ups and downs in this world. And I was looking forward to this match more than anything in a long time. SummerSlam 2013. So we're coming home. The highway's jam-packed.
Yeah.
It's getting real slow, but I'm like, we got to make it. I got to get home in time for this pay-per-view. But I don't even think I really explained it that well to you guys. That's why. I just wanted to get home. I was getting antsy. And you're like, oh, let's just pull off, take a little break. I'm like, no! We got to keep going. We got to get home. So I had a couple buddies. I had like my friend Jake coming over. And I was just, this match was like, this was like the Leafs in the Cup final. I'm like, I got to get home and watch Daniel Bryan challenging John Cena. To make a long story short, John Cena, Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam 2013. The Yes Movement was in full effect. This was before he main evented WrestleMania, but this was the moment he beat John Cena clean in the middle of the ring for the world title. And I made it home in time. I watched the match. It was a great night. I may have been a little grumpy on the ride home, but I made it, and I was very happy at the end of the night.
Wow. You know what? No, you say that, and I remember that happening. Where,
the car ride?
It was a log jam.
It was ridiculous. We were driving from London, which is already like a long...
It's a log jam, and we're driving through Milton, I think, was where sort of we were like, shit, like, let's just fucking pull over and grab dinner. Mm-hmm. Or, grab a, coffee
whatever.
or whatever.
Take a break,
stretch out. And, okay, I had no idea that was...
No, I didn't explain how much it...
That was the match, and, that
was the thing.
It does beg the question, would I have even understood...
I have a tattoo on my thigh that says yes, yes, yes in honor of Daniel Bryan. That was all. It was because of this kind of shit that led me to do that to myself.
And that was the moment. Wow. Come on.
That was it. That was a good personal story. I'm glad that you kind of picked up on it right away too.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
As soon as you kind of like set the scene, I knew it would have been during a SummerSlam-ish.
And that was before you had gotten into wrestling, but now you can look back and understand how much it meant.
That would have been huge. Yeah.
I feel
like I would have left after. Like, I'm not even risking this. Like,
I'm going home tonight.
We'll leave at midnight.
Yeah.
Scotia.
No, but yeah, that was such a good. And the whole, but then after Randy Orton cashes in and it sucks.
Oh yeah.
But the match itself, if you go back and watch, is such a damn. It's like if John Cena was in New Japan. He's fucking wrestling stiff. It was the debut of Daniel Bryan's running knee.
Really?
And Cena just told him, hit me with it, and he just fucking right in the skull.
That's sick.
The next night, he's got a whole back. Well, that's it. To make a long story long, that's number 5.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, I remember that moment. Coming in number 4 for me, a name. I guess we just fucking mentioned him. There was this huge moment. I guess that would have been coming up. What year? What year was that? I'm searching. We're looking up the year. I guess it was
2018.
Yes, coming towards the end of 2018.
I think it's AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, SmackDown. Or no, AJ Styles, Jinder Mahal. No, I don't know. What are you saying? Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. It was towards the end of 2018, the beginning of 2019 was this huge movement. One of the first things that, or like, still one of the only things that I remember it happened. I popped. I had to deep squat out of my very low sitting couch. I was sitting on this very couch right here. It was a match that I just rewatched like 2 weeks ago because it popped up on YouTube, and I said to myself, like, how much fun did I have watching this? And I rewatched and I relived all the fun. It is Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship off Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35.
Yes. Yeah.
It was, I just looked about here, 23, almost 24 minutes. It was a huge chunk of time right in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan's kind of
the heel. He's got his environmental title,
the Planet's champion, and the rise of Kofi. Everything like
Kofi Mania. It was natural.
Kofi Mania. It was one of the first times where I was like, "This is booking."
You saw it happen where it wasn't planned, but they just went with it. It was a time where they knew.
Yeah, and
they went with it.
And also I think we were both smart enough to know, like, we want Kofi to win, but Kofi might not win.
He might not. It's fucking Vince McMahon.
Like, we both kind of had that little, like, I'm not skeptical, but I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
And it was huge. And
not every world title win is emotional. That one was emotional.
I'll never forget that one.
Yeah. Damn good. Damn good match. Big moment. That was your number 5?
4.
Sorry. This is my number 4. As we go on, this is one of the most memorable, legendary matches. Anyone who knows a little bit about pro wrestling at least knows this match. because this is more than just wrestling to me. This match, it's like it's a ride. It's a story. When you put this match on, you got to be ready for it. Because I'm talking about The Undertaker versus Mankind. Hell in a Cell, 1998. The infamous moment. Right off the bat, they climb to the roof. Mankind is thrown off. And Mick Foley himself has said this is when he transforms. Because he was Mankind his whole career. But he crashes through the table. He's basically dead. They come out.
Basically.
They all check on him. And this is the first time, like, as they're checking on him, they remove his mask. And he says that's when he became Mick Foley. This moment. This is when the crowd was like, holy fuck. This is a human.
When his tooth was in his nose.
His tooth was in his nose. He separated a bruised kidney. He got like 4 or 5 duff. He was fucked up. They're stretching him off. He comes back. And then he gets choke slammed through the roof of the cage, which they, to this day, established was not supposed to happen, which was insane. So he's dead. Like, the match itself, you're not seeing shooting star presses. You're not seeing crazy shit, but it was so emotional. The drama. You get sucked in. I watched it a few weeks ago just for, like, nostalgia.
Just
it
for
still gets to me.
posterity's sake.
So much. You just, the ride. They even have thumbtacks. Even after all that shit, they get out thumbtacks.
They even had thumbtacks.
Yeah, they do a pile driver. They do all this shit.
And then, like, immediately afterwards, a guy who wore very little clothes takes on a guy who wears a lot of clothes in a first blood match.
Which was fun because I loved Kane at the time, too. That whole pay-per-view was a lot of fun. But that match is legendary. There's just so many stories about it. There was something like backstage in WCW, because they all used to watch the other show at the pay-per-view. They were watching, and then afterwards, someone's like, well, that's it, boys. We just lost the war after this match.
That's insane. Yeah, arguably, could have kind of put them over in that respect.
We'll never forget it. We'll never forget it.
Coming in number 3 for me. This is a match which we have mentioned the time and place not too long ago. I wonder, if we have another what if, what if...
That could be a new thing as well.
What if? A double what if?
A new segment,
Oh, yeah. A little what if segment.
What-ifs,
a little fantasy book, like a few years or whatever it might be. Mike, we asked ourselves, what if I never texted you wanting to hang out at TLC 2016? But, Mike, I guess the second question would be, what if the main event wasn't that good?
Yeah.
Because coming in at number 3 for me, we have Dean Ambrose taking on AJ Styles for that WWE Championship in a TLC match. You mentioned it before, the 450 splash through the table from outside, like from the rope outside of the ring.
He lands on his head. He overshoots it.
There's also, I rewatched some highlights the other week. There's also one of those, they make the table out of chairs spots.
We love the table chair.
I love the old chair table.
Yeah, it was a damn good match. Yeah, I can't say anything.
Yeah, that's number 3 for me. Rewatch it if you can.
Okay, my number 3, another more modern, very modern take on this one, actually. More modern than your last one. This comes from the year 2019. At the time, as I was watching it, I knew, and I think I made that very clear on this show, that it was one of the greatest matches I had ever seen. Because I'm talking about Cody Rhodes taking on Dustin at Double or Nothing 2019.
Baby.
You want to talk wrestling? You want to talk storytelling? This match had it all. One of the best blade jobs I've ever seen.
One of the best.
Most perfectly placed.
Crimson masks.
Yeah. Not over. You've seen Eddie Guerrero when he overdid it, right?
That was a little too much.
That was too much. I don't want that much.
He takes a chair to the head and then it's just...
He hit an artery. He fucking... But Dustin, it was so perfect. It just dripped steady throughout the whole match. But even besides the blood, like just everything, the moves, the wrestling, the brotherhood, there's
hug at the end,
building.
The dusty chants
going
on in the background.
Because in WWE, we never got this. Cody was Stardust. There was this. We never got the match that everyone knows.
And it wouldn't have been booked the same way either way.
There wouldn't have been blood. There would have been all this shit. And 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. Dustin.
Deservedly so, exactly.
Yeah, at the age of 45 or whatever, Dustin
getting
puts
his
on the
first
best match of his
5-star
career.
match. Yeah, who could have thunk it?
Yeah, so I'll never forget that match, and that's why it's number 3 all time. The most recent. It could climb.
It could. Yeah, it really could.
I'm very nostalgic based. And
exactly, as the heart grows fonder, right?
Yeah, episode 200. That could be number 2, number 1. Who knows?
Coming in at number 2. For me is a big one here too. So a lot of professional wrestling that would occur on the weekend, I would be working for, right? But oftentimes when a pay-per-view is going on, I can kind of have a laptop set up in the corner and sort of check in and out of what's happening for the matches I care about a little more. Maybe I'll fucking sit down and pay attention a little more. And this one, I remember being so excited for and same thing. It would be like, I would tell the the new guys at work, like, hey, I'm gonna watch wrestling later, just so you know.
Yeah.
Like that's what will be happening.
That's happening.
engage with or not.
Yeah.
Up to you. And a couple of the guys got so on board with this particular match. One so much so that they continue to watch AEW to this day.
Wow.
Because
that night you changed them?
That night
that
I
was their
changed.
text message to me night.
That was their text message to you night because, Mike, I will never forget, coming in at number 2, the Escalada de la Muerte.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks taking on the Lucha Bros at All Out.
Was it just the two of them? I thought there was a third team. No, I'm thinking.
No,
it was
just the two
Yeah,
of
it
them.
was a damn good match.
Combining and
the
also
Golden Ladders.
Also combining previous lists. Penta giving the Destroyer off the ladder through.
That was one of the craziest
tables.
bumps of the year.
One of the craziest bumps you'll ever see.
Yeah.
You will ever see. I will never forget All Out.
Yeah, that was a damn good match. That was for the AAA tag titles.
For those AAA titles, I think Young Bucks retained. I think
doesn't even matter. We don't
matter.
give a shit who won because the match. Yeah, one of the greatest. As you said, matches, ladder matches, tag matches, whatever you want to say. It was one of the best matches you'll ever see.
Very much so. Very much so.
Okay. My number 2. This is the nitty gritty here.
Yeah.
My top 3 were pretty hard to separate because on any day of the week, they could be a different spot. They could be number 1. Because this is number 2. This is one of the greatest matches of all time. Another one where, as I was watching, I knew what was going on. History in the making. Because we were seeing the change. The tide was returning. The world was changing, as we have just seen. The best women's match of all time. One of the best matches of all time. Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the NXT Women's title. Take over Brooklyn.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it just happened. Oh, my God.
No. I can't beat that. I won't go that far. I'm talking take over Brooklyn the very first time they fought for the title. The drama, the emotion. That's one of the ones. I'm Sasha Banks. I love her. But Bayley, she had to win that match. It was the babyface. It was the story. It was the perfect storytelling. The lead up, the crowd, just everything about that match I love. It put women's wrestling on the map. That's one that people are going to reference for years.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't
See,
think. I know.
What?
I know it exists.
I know
it exists.
That's your
I've just
fault.
never seen it.
That's your fault.
I never saw. Who's assigning blame?
Well, when you know it's one of the best matches of all time.
I could.
You've seen the Hell in a Cell one. You weren't around.
Yeah,
for
I've seen the Hell in a Cell.
But damn, everyone flame him with bad comments for not seeing that match.
Yeah, right. Like in the comments down below.
Because he doesn't even know what I'm talking about right now.
I know that it's a match, and I know you love it.
No, but it's the kind of match that could change a person's life.
Change lives, apparently.
Yeah, it will move you.
So, Mike, come down to number 1. So, what's my number 1 going to be?
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with the recent trend. It's gonna be one that you've seen within this last 4 or 5 years since hopping on board. There's been a lot of good matches, though. I almost feel like it might be.
It might be bad.
I feel like it might be NXT. I'm leaning NXT. I'm leaning Adam Cole. I feel, is it Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano? I don't know how to specify which one. One of the first 2 ones. I don't know the difference. I can't remember which one's which. But if it's not that doesn't matter. But
that's your guess.
Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano for the NXT title.
Damn close. Because some competitors were also involved. You were right to go. You were right to go NXT. I gotta say, my favorite match of all time.
Yeah.
Is the Fatal 5-Way Ladder match for the inaugural NXT North American Championship.
Yeah. Another fabled 5-star match.
Another fabled 5-star match, of course. Adam Cole ended up getting the win. We had Killian Dane. We had Lars Sullivan. We had EC3. And we had... Fucking
Ricochet.
Yeah, sorry. Pew, pew. Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know. That was like threw me off for a second.
Yeah, no, he was one flippy. He was flippy.
And we had Ricochet. That match, and just like a ladder match, like we said before, like being my favorite stipulation of a match, and seeing that match perform on the utmost, the highest possible level.
Yeah, everybody delivered.
At Takeover New Orleans.
Damn good match. Damn good. Put the title on the map. Yeah. That's what it did. So that was your number 1. Mm-hmm. What was your guess for my numero uno?
I think it's more like who it involves. Like, I think your favorite match involves Daniel Bryan. Or maybe like CM Punk or something. You know, like I think your favorite match involves somebody that you really like. Or possibly that, we mentioned before, the Edge, Hardy Boys. I think that could also be another wild card for you.
Could be.
I'm going to say that your favorite match, because you like CM Punk too, right?
Yeah, I like CM Punk a lot.
You're a punker.
I'm a punker.
I'm going to say that your favorite match is CM Punk taking on John Cena at Money in the Bank in Chicago.
It is not, but that is a damn good match. The last 5-star match.
Damn fine match.
The last 5-star match on WWE main roster, according to some people. Not
some people.
But no, I'm talking about another match that should have been given 5 stars. Greatest match of all time, involving some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. We're going to WrestleMania 25, the first meeting of Shawn Michaels and Undertaker one-on-one at WrestleMania.
That's the one.
The famous match, the one where Undertaker nearly dives when he jumps out of the ring.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
The first kick out of the tombstone in like 20 years. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, they just put on a classic. It's just everything about wrestling summed up in one match that you need to know. The greatest match I've ever seen.
That was your top.
That's number 1.
Man, I gotta watch it now. I gotta watch it.
Those 2 you need to watch.
Yeah, apparently so.
Homework. Which only leaves one category left.
That's correct.
And I guess we left it for this because it's the biggest.
It's the biggest one.
Probably the hardest one for me to work out as well.
Yeah.
Like this is, because this just includes everyone. We're not separating men, women, anything. This is just the top 5 all-time wrestlers.
All-time, baby.
Anything goes. And in regards to that, are we just... So one person can often play multiple gimmicks. Not that it might not even matter, but... In regards to that, do you consider that like one person or like 3 people? Or
that's a good question. I guess you can do whatever you want. I mean, if I were to be asked that question, I would maybe assume as like the physical entity of the person.
Yeah.
But I guess because you could love dude love, you hate mankind. Yeah. I don't know. Like I guess that's kind of like really up to you.
Well, anyways, it is up to me because it's number 5. My number 5, I'm going with Mankind. If I have to specify, but Mick Foley, but Mankind is my favorite.
The man behind the mask.
Yeah. I mean, as we talked about earlier, the Hell in a Cell, but more than that, there's no list for this, but my greatest Raw moment of all time is Mankind beating The Rock for the world title. It was life-changing. This was back before the internet. Me and my brother didn't have a lot of people didn't have the internet in 99, right? Did you have the internet in 99?
Not that I explicitly remember.
I had one friend that had the internet. We would go to his house and go on the internet. But no, so I had no idea. This show was actually taped 3 days before the Monday Night Raw. Was it taped 3 days before in Germany? So spoilers were out there, but nobody knew. So I saw this world title change live. Mankind, he's been in 1,000 good matches, but yeah, he's the craziest bumps he would take.
Amen.
Fucking Mankind, baby.
Mankind, baby. That's coming in number 5. Big number pick. This will be another one of those categories that for you and I, Mike, I feel as though will be very different.
Yeah, we might not share a pick.
We may not even share a pick, although I definitely know we'll share a pick. We'll share.
I think at least one.
I think we'll share at least one, and who knows? It could
maybe 2.
It could even be this one. Because Mike coming in at number 5 for me is not only a performer who continues to be consistent, but I love the idea of sort of the history of the sport and somebody being recognized as being kind of a sport unanimous good. It's sort of like maybe this is just a perception I have of the person, but there can be no disrespect given towards him as his character, his performance, his ability to probably keep other people safe. Daniel Bryan. It's coming in number 5 for me.
Coming in.
He had that huge match with Kofi, all the matches with AJ.
Tons of matches. I talked about the Cena match earlier.
Face, heel, doesn't matter. He's great every time.
Yeah, great on the mic, great in the ring. Just great. One of the most lovable people.
Very much so.
All right, let's work the way up to number 4 here. This was one of my toughest picks, man.
This whole category, I guess, or just this number 4?
The whole category, but this person here, because they could easily be number 1. But I'm putting them on number 4. I feel like it's almost based on seniority. Because like you said, I have watched decades of wrestling at this point. And you can build up more of a resume. But this person's been around a little while, but they have made such an impact on me that I'm willing to call them the greatest of their time, of their generation, of the greatest woman wrestler ever, Sasha Banks, is number 4, the boss. And like I said, she could easily work her way up this list because she is that damn good. She is still young. She's the champion. She is the standard of the women's wrestling.
Yeah, and in the present, in a Charlotte-less world,
even when Charlotte's around, the boss is the boss. That's all I'm saying.
In a Charlotte-less world, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
The boss.
The last year of the boss has been a whole
even
other
before
level.
that,
and even
every year the boss.
Even before that, but I'm saying, even the run she continues to be
summer,
on.
Her and Bayley carried us through the summer pretty good.
They really did. The whole Kovatud era is really just those two. Yeah, huge short.
Yeah.
Coming in number 4 for me. I think I mentioned this before. The feeling of knowing some information that other people don't. And tons of people watch the main roster. Tons of people, and then even lesser people watch NXT, and then even, and it's certainly here in North America.
About the same people watch AEW.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry, I thought that's where you're.
Well, certainly the same amount of people watch AEW, but when I started watching wrestling, I never thought about leaving the country to watch my wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? I never thought to or maybe is there wrestling happening in Zimbabwe?
There is.
There is actually.
Yeah.
Is there wrestling happening in Australia?
Everywhere.
Of course, Peyton Royce, Billy Bloody K. Is there wrestling happening in Japan? Of course it is. The first few matches that I saw at Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan was one thing I love about New Japan when we do get to watch it. It's the production difference between the two.
It's a lot more sport-like.
And it's a lot more sport boxing-like. I love the photographers around the ring. I love
angles, the replays, everything.
Even I feel like the camera's like a little grainier.
Yeah.
I don't.
And it's more stationary. There's a lot less zoom. There's a lot less cuts.
I have no clue why. And
even the ropes have like the boxing.
And I can recall 3 years in a row waking up nice and early to check out the Wrestle Kingdom main event. And guess who was main eventing every single time? None other than Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega!
Omega! Is he gonna get the big win tonight? I fucking hope so. I want.
Good Canadian boy.
Good Canadian kid from Winnipeg.
Good Winnipeg guy.
Huge supporter of the women's division all over the planet.
Oh, I don't know.
Clearly
what division?
Well, clearly his voice just isn't heard. He still supports it though.
You like it, yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I love Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this match tonight. I love everything he does.
He's a damn good wrestler.
Damn fine wrestler.
Number 3. This one of the most legendary wrestlers of all time, of course. Hall of Fame worthy. He's not there yet because, well, he hasn't quite. I mean, I won't say too much. Let's just say I'm giving vague hints because that's fun to do to lead up. But yes, from my childhood, one of my earliest memories was of this wrestler. One of my favorites right away because he's The Undertaker. One of the best gimmicks you could have of all time. So many people would fail with this thing, but he made it go for 30 plus years. There's been some stumbles along the way, like we said. He could have retired earlier, but
and it's even the way that the gimmick-less characters. Let's say like a guy like I don't know, gimmick. Who's like Dolph Ziggler? Who's kind of like gimmick-less. He's a person. That's his thing. I love the way that every single superstar trembles in fear the second that big dong comes around.
Yeah. And even within The Undertaker, he's evolved. He's had different looks. He started as the Mortician, then he was like the gothic cult leader.
American Badass.
The biker, back to the throwback taker, which is just, once you reach the nostalgic point, you can just do whatever you want. But in between all of that, he was putting on great matches for most of the time. And yeah, those Hell in a Cells, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Kane had some great matches with him. All the gimmicks, the Hell in a Cell wouldn't exist, Buried Alive wouldn't exist, casket match. Yeah. He's probably the inventor of the most matches.
That's a good point.
The Undertaker is just ingrained on so many things.
In professional wrestling history, that's terrible.
And my childhood.
Coming in number 3 for me, right? Number 3. Another performer who he's taken on Taker. He has taken on The Undertaker. If that narrows it down.
Somewhat.
This person and Taker have had a match together. If that narrows down any of the selection at all. One thing Taker needs is somebody who can sell his like horror. Somebody who can be scared of Undertaker when that big dong comes down. I think, a guy like Ziggler is so expressive in the face, he fucking sells it.
Yeah.
And somebody who is equally as expressive, one of the best sellers in the business, can't think of anybody better, coming in number 3 for me, the phenomenal AJ Styles, baby.
You did the one, I did the other.
Oh, you did the other one.
That's perfect. That's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Did we catch them both? Maybe we did.
The match at between the match at TLC, he was in that I could start giving the list of matches of his that I like, or the reasons why
It'd be
I like
easier
him.
to list all the matches that were bad because it's a much shorter list.
It's
not very many.
Not only one of the most consistent performers you'll ever get to watch, he is so incredibly entertaining, expressive, selling, that Styles Clash, that calf crusher.
Phenomenal is the perfect word.
Forearm.
It's the perfect word to describe
He built SmackDown Live. He
carried that title. He took it from Jinder and brought it back to the way it should be.
Amen, brother.
After that fucking bad shit.
Amen, brother.
Amen. Number 2.
That's my number.
Number 2 and number 1 are so hard because you could easily flip-flop. At least in my case. I don't know about you. You might have a very definitive number 1.
This entire top 5 list was
it's
very
so
tough.
hard. All these ones can move around.
This one was
2
very
and 1
tough.
were so hard. We talked about him a bit earlier. Number 2, this man meant so much to me. One of the greatest American folk heroes of our time, I might say, in the world of wrestling. Because Daniel Bryan changed the landscape. He literally changed WrestleMania. He changed everything. The crowd said, Vince, we've had enough. We're not letting you. We are not. You fucked us over so many times. This man is winning the title in the main event of WrestleMania, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. Batista won the Royal Rumble. He was supposed to win, but no, we're not having it. And it's because Daniel Bryan's that damn good. The most just baby face, cheerful, even great heel. But you want to see him win. He's so damn good.
When the Observer names an award after you, you're pretty fucking good. And
I know. I'm only talking about his WWE. Obviously, he had long career in Ring of Honor and Japan. He did a bunch of great shit.
PWG.
Yeah, but the beard, once the beard grew out, that's the Daniel Bryan I know best, and he's been nothing but great since.
The American Dragon.
The American Dragon, the people's the planet's champion.
Truly one of the best performers we will ever see.
Yeah, of all time.
First ballot Hall of Famer. We're always talking in this house. We're always talking first ballot Hall of Famers.
He retired and came back. I cried when he retired. It was emotional.
I'm sure it was.
It felt like a funeral that day.
It really did.
But he came back. I have his autographed picture at my bedroom.
Where'd you get an autograph?
Someone sent it to me. A very nice person on Reddit sent it to me for
no
free,
way,
randomly.
Really?
Yeah. It was
wow.
I'll tell that story.
I'd love to see that. Take a
in
photo.
my
And send
bedroom.
it to me one time. Yeah.
I think I have it somewhere. That was my number 2.
Coming in at number 2 for me. This is a big one. This is a big one here. Because, it involved my entire duration of watching professional wrestling, and one of the few performers that, Mike, dare I say, similar to when Hulk Hogan popped up in WCW, it was huge news. It was huge news.
Yeah.
You don't cross the river like that.
The picket line.
You don't cross the picket line like that, right? And one man that I've been watching my entire life, my entire professional wrestling career, I've been watching, and he said fuck you to that picket line.
Ooh.
And he marched right across, and he went from being a stud in one company to being a stud in the other company, and I don't even know what to call him. I don't even know how to moniker the man's one name because the man has so many names. You may know him as Dean Ambrose.
Oh, well.
I know him as John Moxley. Whoever you know.
I know him as
You
Moxley
may know
as well.
him as Renee Young's wife. Who knows what you know him as?
Mr. Paquette.
Mr. Paquette, Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. Just everything was fun. I think he is very good. I like him.
He can do any style. He can go hardcore.
He's he's proven he's proven that he can draw people in all over the world.
Yeah.
John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, whatever you want to call yourself. You're coming in the number 2 spot for me.
Hell yeah. Well,
It's your number 1.
that leaves only one.
Fuck.
Okay,
So if Daniel Bryan's number 2,
he was a strong favorite. Yeah.
he was a
Sasha
strong
Banks,
favorite.
Undertaker,
Sasha
they were
Banks.
strong.
No, this one's tough because I can go 2 ways with this. It's going to be
Yeah.
one of 2.
Either way, there's gonna be a surprise because someone didn't make the list, right?
Oh, and that's the thing, right? So either I'm going to say the name and then be surprised that, whichever name I say, because I have 2 names in mind, but I can only say one officially.
I think I know the 2 names as well.
You probably know the 2 names. This one's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're wearing the shirt, Mike. You're wearing the shirt. I'm going to swerve you. I think your favorite wrestler. I think number 1 on this list for you, Mike, none other than Shawn Michaels.
Yes!
Yes! I got one, finally!
Yes, number 1. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the greatest wrestler, the performer, the showstopper, the icon, whatever you want to call him. When you needed a good match, he was going to deliver. He didn't, you don't care if he wins or loses. A lot of people hated him backstage, but even Bret Hart admits he's one of the best ever. And even Ric Flair, lots of people say Shawn Michaels is the best ever, and that's not just because. It's because
there's clearly something to
there,
him.
Like among all, he's
everyone
featured on a bunch of my
best.
on all these other lists.
He's been all over the place, yeah.
So yeah, he's done it all. Hell in a Cell, ladder matches, everything. DX, heel, face. I just love him. Shawn Michaels. Becky Lynch, though, honorable mention.
That was it. That was it.
Close.
And I knew
it was her and Sasha
because neither Becky nor Shawn Michaels had made the list, and it's like, fuck, it's gonna be one of them.
But I did say earlier, Sasha's the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Yeah,
so that's a good hit.
You have said that.
But Becky, she was so close to making this list. But no, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, number 1.
Number 1, baby. And well, I guess I turned the card over to you.
Yes, I'll guess. You said baby. I'll say baby and go with Adam Cole. That's my guess for number 1.
There's no explanation needed for this. That's right. Adam Cole possesses to me all the things that a professional wrestler's like supposed to be, and I can a more lovable heel. I cannot think of a more lovable heel. Anytime he steps out into the ring, it's going to be fucking huge.
Yeah, he's got 2 taunts. He's got Boom and Adam Cole Baby.
2
taunts.
The entire song is built around him doing Boom.
Everyone loves the dance.
And Adam Cole is. I can't even fucking.
I mean, we know. I called it for a reason.
We called it for a reason. I'm glad we both. I'm glad
we ended it off.
We ended it off on a strong note. We were both able to call each other's number 1s.
Yeah, we know each other and somewhat. Yeah, so that's it.
Some kind of way. That was the entire episode 100. I think.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of good ground here. That was a good historical. We got to learn a lot in this episode. Tell some stories. Just kind of cover. I mean, obviously, we're born in the 90s, so pre-80s wrestling is a little
foreign,
obscure to us.
More foreign.
We acknowledge
to us,
it. We respect it.
But hey, that's going to happen at every time, right?
Exactly.
Like a brand new wrestling fan isn't going to go back and watch the fucking Von Erichs.
And let's be honest, they weren't doing shirt and star prices back then and stuff like that. So.
Well, yeah, and everyone's going to have that era of whatever. And my stepdad will always say Michael Jordan's better than LeBron James. It's just sort of the way easy there. This is a professional wrestling podcast.
I'll agree with him.
This isn't a basketball podcast. It's a professional wrestling podcast. And that's the entire episode of 100. I think, we kind of compiled all these lists, Mike. I love every single hour we spend doing the show together, and I can't wait for the next 100.
Yes, we are not.
200, 300.
As of now, yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're committed. Wrestling's not going anywhere.
There's no signs to stop. Like, I think I have no reason. We have no reason to ever stop doing this show forever.
No, it's only going to expand, if anything. So who knows?
It's only going to expand, folks at home. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you're watching on YouTube, things will get better. Our YouTubes will continue to get better every single year. We do this. Keep in mind, maybe our next video show can be the Shooties at our big end of the year. That is the real Oscars. Yeah, we'll give our year-end rewards, but that sticks to this year. This hellacious 2020. And I guess we know probably back next year, episode 101. You rate, review, like, and subscribe. The podcast is everywhere. I never thought we'd get to 100 episodes, but God damn it, we made it. Here we are, and here you are. Here you are, folks at home. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the support over the past 100 episodes. We hope that we can give you 100 more, and we thank you. And thank everything. But yeah, no spoilers. It's fucking almost full gear time. We're going to go watch the show. And then probably talk about it on episode 101. Yeah. It'll be fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Everybody, you all take care of yourself. Bye.
Yeah, play us out, Sam.
Oh, baby. Fuck yeah.
Always. Yeah, I knew Adam Cole.
You knew Adam Cole. It was always like